Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush. Plenty to get into. Sam Pittman yesterday, Monday Night Football last night, Rangers going to the World Series, Diamondbacks tied it up. They're in a crucial Game 7. Plenty of sports. This is a great time of year for sports. End of October, early November, you got postseason baseball, college football, the start of college basketball. I mean, this really is a meaty part of the sports calendar year.
Yep, and gonna be a lot happening as we head into November. We're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Best brands, best prices. Grand Design, Forest River. You've got Brinkley and the new Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And every new RV they sell at Wheels comes with a lifetime warranty. Wheels RV is 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. A lot going on, like you said, but I think most people this morning are still reacting. They've listened to, and the 30-plus minutes Sam spit with the media yesterday, I think, are on a lot of people's minds today.
Yep, plenty of sound bites from Coach to get into as he addressed a bunch of different things. Dan Enos being the foremost priority of that conversation. Also talked about a couple other things, Rocket Sanders, how he can be better, and we will get into all of that this morning. Also got the game time announcement for Florida next weekend. It's going to be at 11 o'clock a.m. Central on ESPN2. So if you're one of the select few going to the game, it'll be at 12 o'clock because Gainesville's in Eastern time. But again, 11 o'clock here in the great state of Arkansas on ESPN2. So again, plenty to get into this morning, starting with Dan Enos. Talked about, again, they came to a decision on Sunday morning, and then they put out that statement on Sunday afternoon. We were discussing before the show, this is probably something he has contemplated for quite some time. I say quite, it's not like it was like predetermined before the season, but when things weren't working, this wasn't just a snap decision that he made directly following a 3-point offensive performance against State.
I mean, personnel decisions, unless your hand is forced by someone doing something so egregious you have to make a change in that moment. When it comes down to a reason for making a change due to performance, it is not something that generally happens, in one day. So I would imagine that, the better part of this month, he's been thinking, man, if this doesn't get better, I may have to start doing something about this offense. And then as it unfolded the way it did, I don't imagine this was all, a first thought on Saturday following the game and then Sunday morning making the change. This is probably something he's mulled over for a few weeks, and now he's unfolding that plan he's been thinking about, beginning with, staff meetings on Sunday that he gave us some detail to, and again yesterday, the offensive staff meeting and kind of how things are going to flow. We'll get into that, but I thought it was maybe as important a 30-minute press conference as he's had all year long to reestablish some confidence, reestablish some hope, and I think, fans, right now we can't really find out how the team feels or how they're going to perform. We got to wait till that Florida game you mentioned to see if they're playing with more hope and more spring in their step. But that's the currency you trade on in college sports is hope. And I think there's a little more hope today than there was when you left the stadium on Saturday that, maybe you can turn this thing around and win 3 of 4 or, you may not find yourself bowl eligible, but you can reestablish some trust and some hope for the future of next year that this thing can get righted.
Sam Pittman spoke with the media about 30 minutes or so, and again, in a pressure cook situation, he did a pretty admirable job. He's gotten ridiculed. He's gotten mocked on these airwaves the last 48 hours or so, and a lot of it's been deserved. But I thought he handled himself adequately yesterday during the course of his time with the media. Now, it's one thing, again, to handle a press conference. It's another thing to see, as you just referred to, what they do in Gainesville in 2 weeks. But I thought, again, I enjoyed the answers that he gave, and I thought that he was spot on. And, again, he was pretty adamant with something he said. He said directly, I have to get better. He talked about that he's not necessarily concerned about his job, but he's concerned about the people that he works with because they don't have the same buyout situation that he does.
Well, and I think the conventional thought, listen, I don't want to spend any time really talking about Sam's job because just like you said, he's going to get millions of dollars, just like Dan Enos got millions of dollars, but there's 100+ jobs in that building that have no buyout beyond their current deal or current contract in most situations. And there will be no next job for Sam Pittman is the common belief. He's not moving on to the next head coaching job and can take most of those people that are on the equipment staff or recruiting staff or nutrition staff or whatever with him. He's going to retire in all likelihood when this job is over. And so those folks will be looking to find a new wagon to hitch to. So anyway, that's not the focus of today, but that is part of the sentiment going on in that building. But he walked through a lot of why Kenny Guyton, the changes that are going to be made. Kenny Guyton's not going to coach the wide receivers hands-on like he's been. He's going to move over with KJ and the quarterbacks, and he'll call plays for the first time. And he even got into some of the details about how they'll more or less practice that beginning, I think, as soon as today on how he's going to get comfortable calling the plays for the last 4 games of the year.
If I remember correctly, the guys had off yesterday, and I think, like you said, today they get rolling a little bit this morning. Again, plenty of responses on the McCarty-Daniel hotline yesterday. Lisa texted in that she believes there's no hope for this team in the remaining 4 games. And I understand that sentiment. I mean, it's really hard to believe that based on the 6 straight losses that you've gone through at this point. And I'm not as emotionally invested as I was prior to the Mississippi State loss. It's taken a lot out of me. I'm more in basketball mode now. I'm still going to watch the game, still going to be at the game next week, but I don't know if I'll have the same vigor, the same intensity that I usually do for Razorback football, just knowing that it's basically a 1% chance that this team can win 4 straight games and end up bowling. You just hope, again, the season doesn't spiral out of control and you lose recruits and you lose some of the positive progress that you built to this point.
And I don't know that this is you got to win at Florida or this was the wrong move kind of situation. And listen, I don't want to hear about winning close because we've done all the winning close you want to talk about for a lifetime this year. But, Arkansas's never had a team go to Florida and win. You've only beaten Florida twice out of 12 games in your school's history. The last one came, 2015 or 16 when they were a ranked Florida team, came in here and Bielema's team beat them like 31-10 or something. You had a win in the Blue Bonnet Bowl. You've had one SEC win, I guess, over these guys. There's not a tradition of beating Florida a lot. You'd love to go down there, and close doesn't count. But I don't think it's hey, if Sam's team doesn't win this whole thing was the wrong move kind of setup.
Yep. So we've already got text from B.E., David, Dennis, and B.G. this morning. Guys, I want to hear your voices. It's easy to text. I know y'all aren't that busy for 2 minutes. Call or text us. Particularly call us this morning. I want to hear your voices like I did yesterday.
All right, November 11th is the next home football game. Tickets still remain at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. You can secure your seat for the Auburn game, Florida International, and the Missouri games that are all coming up. Again, ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Be on the hill for tailgating, a beautiful fall Saturday, and great college football at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. You can also get tickets to the new Big Red's Rooftop Bar, beginning at just $20. So experience game day by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or call 1-800-982-HOGS.
We will get to some of those texts and also, again, some of Sam Pittman's comments from yesterday. Stay with us. Tuesday edition of The Morning Rush.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorbacks!
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith is your off-road headquarters. Kawasaki has you covered on 2 or 4 wheels with huge savings. Right now, save up to $2,500 on select Kawasaki KX dirt bike models, as well as $2,500 off select Kawasaki Teryx utility vehicles, like the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx SLE. Check out their loaded showroom at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith, or see it all online at WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, family owned and operated, and keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 GMCs are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Get financing as low as 1.9% with approved credit and $500 in loyalty cash back on 23 GMC Terrain. If you own a 2009 or newer Buick or GMC, conquer with confidence in a 2023 GMC Terrain from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Feeling blindsided by your spouse asking for a divorce? Wondering if it's going to be a scrimmage or a BCS-level custody battle? Don't step into the courtroom without Mock Legal Solutions' offensive line protecting your weak side. Mock Legal Solutions offers low flat fees and payment plan options, so there's no moving the goalpost on your bill. Call an audible and contact Mock Legal Solutions today at 479-769-1505 or visit our website, mocklegalsolutions.com. Real advice, reasonable price.
Did you miss the Oklahoma Outdoor RV Expo? Don't worry. RV Expo prices have been extended at Camping World. Shop top RV brands from your favorite manufacturers with new RVs starting at less than $5 a day. Plus, get even more for your money with a huge selection of reconditioned pre-owned RVs. Finance your RV with competitive rates and flexible terms through our national network of lenders. Visit your local Camping World to shop extended RV Expo prices today. See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
Passion is something that exists in all of us.
I know we got a lot of passionate Hog fans listening right now, and I know that all of you love football season. Dave Bushkill and his team over at Eastside Liquor are the exact same way. They can take care of all your tailgating and party needs, whether it's just a few beers or alcohol in bulk. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith to check off every item on your list. Eastside Liquor, your #1 stop for Arkansas football this season.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I appreciate, Ty, you and Tommy having me on this morning. It's always great to join the morning rush.
Third down, here comes LSU. KJ, flush, rolling right, keeps his eyes downfield, throw it deep, got has at the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown Arkansas. There's your play. 59 yards to Lucas.
Do you enjoy watching Arkansas press conferences? Find all of them on our YouTube channel. You can hear from Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Razorback players. Just search Hit That Line and click subscribe.
What did Sam Pittman have to say about Dan Enos? We will tell you coming up momentarily. Dennis in Springdale texting in on the McCarty Daniel hotline. He is in the midst of having his first cup of coffee and making breakfast for his kiddos. And then he will be calling in this morning as well. Dennis, I am also on my first cup of coffee, my only cup of coffee. I'm a one cup of coffee
Coffee
guy.
or copy? You sound
Coffee.
like you're saying copy.
Well, it's because this voice is just jacked right now after the yelling, screaming, cold, allergies. It's a combination of a bunch of things. I've been dropping my cough drops in my coffee this morning.
I've never heard of anyone doing that. Cough
I'm
drops
innovative.
in the coffee. You're what?
I'm innovative. I can't help it. It's just I think differently than most people. So that's how I'm trying to, again, it's better than trying to suck on a cough drop and do a radio show. So you get the same effects, and you don't have to worry about the bad aspects of trying to counter that or do that.
Okay, then. Hey, if you're making plans to be on the Hill for basketball, and that's starting as soon as this Saturday, make your plans to stay at the Inn at the Mill. Even for this weekend, if you're looking for a place to go, it really can be home base for the weekend for basketball. The Inn at the Mill's got a room for you. 479-443-1800 is the number. For the last 12 years, they've been voted number one for staff interaction. And I can attest that when you call up there and talk to Jennifer or any of the lovely people at the desk, they make the reservation process, the check-in process, the whole process easy, quick, and convenient for you. They're conveniently located right near everything you want to do in Northwest Arkansas, whether it's a game on campus, going to the AMP, Crystal Bridges, or, just shopping and eating in some of the great places in Northwest Arkansas. Exit 69 at the Johnson exit. It's in the heart of Northwest Arkansas. Again, 479-443-1800 or online at inatthemill.com.
B in Clarksville suggesting this morning on the McCarty-Dane hotline to throw in some Irish coffee into that. I have not had Irish coffee, to be quite honest, since my cousin's wedding like 6 or 7 years ago. It's been that long. Are you an Irish coffee drinker? Is that something you partake in?
Putting a little juice in your coffee? No, I'm not a coffee drinker, so no, I would not be on that list.
I didn't know if that would actually push you to drinking.
Not really. My wife likes every now and then I'll buy a little bottle of Bailey's or something. She'll put that in her coffee. But
do you consider me a coffee drinker?
No, you're not at all. You're not a coffee drinker. You tolerate coffee because Chuck told you to drink coffee. And no, you do not like coffee. I can see the bitter beer face on your face every time you take a drink.
Yeah, it's not good.
You're not a coffee drinker.
It's not good at all. Well, I don't know if Dan Enos or Sam Pittman is a coffee drinker, but they both, again, are the stories from this weekend. Let's start, again, with what Coach Pittman had to say about Dan Enos and just kind of what happened.
Dan worked extremely hard, was in the building all the time, put a lot of hours into it and things of that nature. It just wasn't working. Yesterday morning, we decided to make a change there, or not a change, but go ahead and let Dan go.
All right, so he wasn't, again, mocking him for not putting in the hours at work. And sometimes in coaching, I mean, these guys work very, very hard. I don't think anyone would dispute that on the football staff, that Dan Enos wasn't, again, like not showing up. He wasn't treated like an 8-to-5 job or anything like that. Some things don't mesh. Some quarterbacks and OCs don't mesh. KJ and him didn't mesh, and that's one of the reasons it ultimately led to the decision that Sam Pittman made yesterday.
Yeah, I mean,
Sunday.
This wasn't a matter of just not putting the work in. I was listening to Clay talk with the guys yesterday afternoon. I think he was living at the office. Maybe sometimes you get too close to it. Maybe you need to put it down a little bit sometimes. For whatever reason, it didn't work. And to me, what I hear listening to Coach talk yesterday, there just wasn't the connection with the players. The players clearly didn't want to, run through a brick wall, so to speak, for Coach Enos, and that's the spirit. He used the word spirit a lot throughout his address yesterday. Mm-hmm. They got to get their spirit back. So those are the things I think they'll spend the bye week and next week working on, is the team together. They can't go and just beat on these guys and tell them how bad they are and how hard, you got to do this and that. They're going to have to build them up a little bit, or build them up a lot, rather. And I think there's some aspect to that. But this isn't just hey, we fired Dan Enos, everything's going to be fine. It's not one of those deals. This is going to take, a lot of different things to patch this together to try to win, like 3 of your last 4.
Mm-hmm. So 2 words I would say were probably the most prevalent during the press conference. You just mentioned one of them, spirit. The other one's probably volume. And we've said it before, nothing came easy to this offense in the first 8 games, and Coach elaborated on that as well.
Nothing ever came easy for us this year. We've got to do some things differently, and one of it is cut down the volume that we have. I've been meeting with those guys all morning on that, and we'll go from there.
I don't know if it's going to come easy in the swamp next week, but I will tell you that I agree wholeheartedly with Sam Pittman. It seemed like Arkansas, even when they scored, Tommy, they were getting to countless third downs over and over. There are no chunk plays with this team. I mean, you had one of the least explosive units in the SEC through the first 8 games. I'm not sitting here going to tell you that's going to change, but the volume, you just wonder if it was, as Ruskin likes to say, paralysis by analysis with what they were trying to learn.
I heard Clay talk about this yesterday, and Clay will be with us tomorrow. You know, everybody made fun of Chad Morris yesterday, or not yet, during his time here. And this was brought up yesterday about they only installed 30% of the offense. You know, well, we got 30% installed. Well, sometimes, you know, this is what happens when you try to put the entire scheme, the entire playbook, all of it in at once. There's just too much to learn. You know, too much for the players to absorb at once. So sometimes only putting a portion of your playbook and a portion of what you're trying to do in at one time has its benefits as well.
Again, our number for the McClarty Daniel hotline is 877-377-6963. Tommy, I got a trivia question. You should know this. I feel like you do. The mascot of Batesville, where Thomas is this morning, is just looked it up. I thought I was right, but I just wanted to confirm. Think of like an old, not musketeer, but
the Pioneers.
There it is.
I've been there. I've been to Batesville to Lyon College, but yeah, they're the Pioneers.
There it is. Well, that's where Thomas is this morning. Thomas, welcome into the program.
Hello.
What's
hey,
up,
Thomas.
man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are y'all?
We are good, man.
So I've been a big Sam Pittman supporter. Always have been. I really like him because I just don't think he talks. I think everything he says from the heart, and I really enjoy that. But my biggest concern is right now is if he, goes out and tries to find an offensive coordinator, who's he going to get, knowing that if we keep him this next year, that this could be his last year. I mean, if he doesn't perform, it could be over. Who's he going to go out and get that's going to be able to turn, or is he going to have to just bring somebody from the staff like he is and keep them in the positions that they are? And I'll hang up and let y'all talk.
That's a fair question,
That's a great
Thomas.
question, Thomas. But you do what you did with Dan Enos. It's multiple years on your contract. There's guarantees financially. I hear what you're saying, and those are reasonable concerns, and those are challenges that Sam Pittman will have to overcome. But he's not the first coach to have to bring someone in when things aren't going well to try to correct the issue. But coach, what coaches like more than anything, assistant coaches speaking, is years on contract and guaranteed money, so they know they're secure for at least 2 or 3 more years or whatever the situation would be. Dan Enos is going to make well over $2 million to not coach here until he finds another job. Now, if he finds another job, that's offset by that. But that's how you solve part of that problem. But no, Thomas, your question's good. Your concern is
valid.
Is valid, yeah,
100%. All right, next trivia question: the Scranton,
not Eagles.
Blast.
The Rockets. The Rockets.
Yeah,
the Rockets.
Y'all are on the right track. That's where
my first ever basketball regional tournament.
Scranton, Arkansas.
20 years ago. Scranton. It's just it's down south of Clarksville.
South of Clarksville. Yeah. Well, that's where Gary is this morning. Gary, welcome into the Morning Rush.
Hey, I just wanted to make a comment. I think the Hogs just missed a golden chance this year with the way the conference was. The other, what is this going to do to our recruiting? And what's going to keep the top players from hitting the portal and leaving their program?
I think those are both fair questions, Gary, and we appreciate you calling in. JR, I think we lost you there, so if you want to call back, you can do so as well. So that Pittman addressed, and we'll get to what he said coming up, but he had a bunch of calls over the weekend with recruits, telling them the plan, telling them what's going on. The offense, we'll see, again, if the players adapt to Guyton and like Guyton. I don't know if you're necessarily going to be in danger if you show some signs of growth in these next 4 games of leading transfer players. And again, it depends on who you hire as an offensive coordinator. We got a good question from Thomas, who that person is going to be. And that's going to have a lot to do with the guys that you're able to retain in the recruiting class and the guys that you're going to be able to retain currently on this roster right now at this point. I'll have to wait and see. All right, last call before we go to the next segment and go to break. JR is on the McCarty Daniel hotline. JR, welcome in.
Hey, guys. I'm going to throw a different spin on this. At this point, does KJ sit back and look at his NIL money and look at the fact that he has another year of eligibility left? Does he decide, not to go forward? I mean, I would think in the quarterback room that this conversation has to take place. Is he going to risk being injured on this ship that's burning right now, or is he going to just step back and let somebody else?
Are you saying not play? Are you saying not playing games this year?
Yeah. I mean, financially, he's guaranteed his NIL money, right? I mean, there's nothing saying that he won't get his money if he doesn't complete the season, correct?
I believe that's correct. I know there's a bunch of intricacies within NIL. I
don't think that's a consideration. What you're laying out now.
So?
No, not playing the rest of this year uninjured. Just some are saying that might be what's going on with the Rockets. You can look at the Nick Smith deal. Maybe we'll get into that conversation a little bit later on and how these maybe correlate or compare. I think that the conversation we've had and continue to have with KJ is his future next year. I'm not a believer that he's going to be an NFL quarterback. I'm not a believer that he's going to be drafted. What's his future? Is it at Arkansas? Is it transferring to another school? Is it going ahead and throwing your hat in the NFL draft ring and see what happens? Or is he coming back to play for the Razorbacks again? He's making a lot of money, close to 7-figure money, I'm told, to be the quarterback at Arkansas right now. And this NIL thing, everybody was for it. All these guys deserve to be paid. I think it's having its problems. It's causing its waves in college football at places like Arkansas. And I think this is, that's a whole other conversation I don't want to spiral off into. But believe you me, I in my heart, some of what we're seeing, some of the product on the field, you can tie it back to NIL.
I think if they lose against Florida or the following week against Auburn, that at point would eliminate them from any sort of bowl game, right? So I think there's a much higher chance and a much likelier possibility that we see Jacoby Criswell at that point in time. I don't anticipate KJ quitting in the bye week or quitting the rest of the season. I could see a change in quarterback based on building for the future because it's, in my opinion, that KJ Jefferson is not going to be back in a Razorback uniform this next year. I think he's going to use his final year to transfer. I think Arkansas fans should wish him well. He's done a lot for this program. He's given his all. We've seen his toughness. I know there's been points this season you felt like it hasn't worked out, which it hasn't. Maybe we'll see some signs of life with Guyton taking over. Got to remember, Kenny played quarterback at college at Ohio State. There seems to be a likability factor from the wide receivers that he has coached to this point. I don't know if it's going to mesh well at quarterback because we thought it was going to with Enos. It didn't. Maybe a change will help, but that's my kind of whole take on KJ Jefferson, what we'll see at the quarterback position. Like Andy Mounthome texted in on the McCarty Daniel Hotline. He thinks KJ's already quit. Well, we'll find out next weekend in Gainesville, Florida, a place that Arkansas, again, has never won on the road in the Swamp. So we've taken plenty of your calls and text already. We're going to keep on doing it. Hear more from Sam Pittman. Talk a little bit about last night. It wasn't just a good college football weekend. It was a good weekend for the National Football League and the MLB as the Texas Rangers advance to the World Series. If you're a Rangers fan, I know you're happy this morning like my roommate was last night. All that to get to, Tommy, coming up in just a bit.
Brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we trust with any kind of fencing project. You can trust them as well, whether it's at your home or your business. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fencing, chain link, commercial projects that include powered automatic gates or custom wrought iron installations at home or work. You need power automatic gates, or you've got them and they're not functioning properly, the Fence Man can fix them. 782-3936. They love custom projects as well. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
I'd love to be able to go around the state like I just did in Scranton and in Batesville this morning. Name your mascot off. I know we also are going to get into our high school player of the week. So all that is coming up. Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
This is former Razorback Sonny Weems, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
When an Arkansas coach used to go to a high school campus, everybody paid attention. It got around real quick.
I'm not on the bandwagon that kicks Sam out the door.
There's only two people responsible for the football season. That's you, Chuck, and Coach Pittman.
Yeah, we've liked him. His personality has been pretty good. But at the end of the day, I think it was a bad decision by Hunter Yurchek to hire him.
I've seen a lot of bad football in my life, and that was the worst.
I really hope he can let Guyton kind of use his own creativity, and we can hopefully see a more aggressive offense. At the end of the day, if we're going to get beat, let's get beat taking some shots, not getting it off on 3rd and 8.
So plenty of calls and texts from yesterday. That's the most we've had in quite some time, again, following a 6th straight loss to Mississippi State. We're taking more of your calls and texts coming up in this segment for the next 20 minutes or so. Again, our number, 877-377-6963 on the McLarty Daniel hotline.
Sometimes the only way to get over it is with tacos. Tacos will solve most problems.
That they will.
And it is Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos all day, so you can have those for lunch, mid-afternoon snack, dinner tonight, or anywhere in between any of those meals. They were open for breakfast. We may send Big C over there to get some tacos right now for Taco Tuesday. Tomorrow is Nacho Average Wednesday at Joe's Grill. $1 off all beers, draft and bottle, and $1 off all nachos, including the new ballpark-style pork nachos. And then Thursday is Throwback Thursday. They'll have one of the classic Cuco's platters on Thursday. Games will be on. Of course, the Hogs not on this weekend when they're at it against Florida. You can head there to watch the game. Half-price apps and taps when the Hogs are on. I guess this Saturday they'll have the maybe the Purdue game on. I imagine they will, and you can watch that with maybe half-price apps and taps. Got to get in basketball mode. Joe's Grill and Cantina. It's Taco Tuesday. Joe's Grill and Cantina is on South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Before we get to more Pittman, let's get to some text. David and Alma ask a fair question. Why did it take a 6-game losing streak to realize the kids did not want to play for Dan Enos? I don't think it took a 6-game losing streak to realize that this wasn't going to necessarily work. I just think that pushed it to a threshold that there was no coming back from, especially in a situation when you're in a bye week and all.
Exactly. So let's look at the schedule. And if you're going to make a change of this nature, you do it when you have more time to prepare for it. So I think the bye week was the perfect opportunity to make these changes. I think if the bye week had happened a week ago, maybe you'd made the change a week ago. I don't know that. Only Sam Pittman can really clue you in on that. But things I guess, reached its peak of poor performance on Saturday with just 3 points and no offensive numbers to speak of.
BG and Rogers taking the negative vantage point this morning. He's saying it's too little, too late. If Hunter Yurchek keeps Sam Pittman, it shows him and the athletics department is not serious about having a winning football program. And that's BG's stance that you're not the only one that has taken. Not just this morning, but the last day or so. I heard it on Hog Reaction with myself and Derek, and I heard it yesterday during Monday's show. I think what you and so many others are frustrated with is when you see so many other sports on this campus having national success, right? Like having legitimate national elite, in some cases, success. And the football team is so far and away from that at that point. I mean, 2021 was great, right? 9 wins in football, Elite 8 in basketball, and then also, again, in baseball, you made it to the College World Series where you're a game away from the College World Series final. So that's, again, a situation I'm just as frustrated with you with. Again, I don't think at this point in time you need to fire Sam Pittman. I don't think that's the right move at this point. If they lose out the rest of the way, I'm subjugated to change my opinion on that. Or I'm subject to change my opinion on that.
I don't want you to be subjugated.
Yeah, not subjugated. Yeah. Excuse me.
Are you want to head back to the phones?
I thought that was rhetorical. Yeah, sure.
Okay. JR has dialed us up. JR, you're first. JR?
Good morning.
Yeah, hit it.
Good morning. How are we doing this morning, fellas?
We're good. How are you?
Hey, listen.
listen, I listen to you guys every morning 5 days a week. I've never called in, but, you know, Sam Pittman, I think, is going to do us a good job down the road. This Dan Enos, I'm a fan of Dan Enos, but it didn't fit for us. I really believe we seen KJ quit last week. I think the frustration got to this team. We can't go down and play like this and then come back, go to Alabama and play like this and then come back and do this. I think the man will get it straightened out. I think we had a bad offensive coordinator that didn't fit KJ. KJ needs to be in that RPO. I love this team. I love listening to you guys. I think these boys will get it back on track. And I hope he comes back next year. Show us what he can do. That's all I got.
All right, hey, JR, real quick, before you go, are you talking about KJ or are you talking about Sam at the end?
I'm talking about both of them. I'd like to see them all back next year.
Okay. All right, so, go ahead.
The only thing I'd take exception, I hate the word quit when it comes to athletes, because I think of all the things you can accuse guys of being, the one word that every athlete I've ever been around that they don't want to be associated with is quitter. Now, did KJ have a horrible day on Saturday? Yes. But when you say quit, that means not coming back. If I quit here, I'm not coming back, right? If you quit, we're not doing this no more. I don't think that's where we're at with KJ. And I don't want to get into the dictionary here, but semantics. I don't think it's semantics at all, because I think the one thing when you talk to any athlete, current or former, you use the word quit, you can call them a lot of things. You can use the worst terms. You can holler the nastiest things from the stands. Don't call them quitter. That's to any competitor at anything. The word quit is maybe the most egregious accusation you can throw at him.
And I want to play this soundbite before we go back to the McCarty Daniel hotline. So, again, the meshing of Enos and KJ. Listen to how particular Sam Pittman is with these words when it comes to describing the offense not working and them simplifying it.
Well, the system was really good. I mean, it was a really good system. And like I say, Dan's a really good football coach. We just didn't click in it. You know, when he came from Maryland, they had great success over there in their offenses. But I do think that we've got to allow KJ to take some of the things off his plate that we were obviously trying to teach him for now and for his future. But we need to take those things off his plate because he's not playing fast. And he's not as accurate throwing the football as what he has been in the past. And some of those things have to be mental, and we've got to take some things off his plate as well.
Here's what I hear from that. They were trying to, again, prepare him for the National Football League with various things that they implemented this season. He didn't adapt to them. He wasn't receptive to them at that point. So they're just going back to RPO and some of the stuff that he's better at this point in time. And if it starts working again and clicking, then you're happy and excited. I don't know KJ's prospects in the National Football League. I would guess by this season they're probably not that good. But that's what I took away from that soundbite.
He's not. If the draft was next weekend, he's not getting drafted. He may get a free agency shot. He's not getting drafted. So his future is very much in question. And when it comes to adapting to the Enos system, they didn't put him in areas of strength for KJ. And that's really the job of a coach is, all right, here's what my players and here's what my offense are good at. Let's put them in areas of success. I think that's where Enos failed more than anything, is not putting KJ consistently in areas that made him and this offense look good. Give Kendall Briles credit. He kept KJ out of trouble for a couple years. He knew how to hide the weaknesses, mask those problems with the passing game, and accentuate the running game. Put him in the RPO situations. Get him on the edge and make the defender make a decision. Those were the things Kendall Briles did well. For all the heat he took on the trick plays, and I gave him some because I don't think direct snaps to the tight end would really be something that would succeed in this league. But Kendall Briles did a really good job of putting KJ in his best light and in the best moments he could be in with the play calling and the offense that was around him.
All right, we got a full call sheet right here. All right, Tommy, this one's a tricky one. Jacksonville. Jacksonville has since changed its mascot. They changed it back in 2016. That's where Rob is this morning. What is Jacksonville's new mascot?
I don't know.
On line 2. It's the Titans. It used to be the Red Devils.
I knew
the
that.
North Pulaski Falcons. It's the Titans. Welcome
North
into the
Pulaski Falcons. I didn't know that either.
Rob, welcome into the program, man.
Ty, you got the wrong Jacksonville, brother. This is the real Jacksonville.
Oh, Florida. Okay. I don't know the Jacksonville High School in Florida.
There's about 15 of them. Hey, bud. So just giving you a call. I just wanted to halt you guys for a second. The Hogs coming down here to Florida next weekend. I love the way Travis Williams has the defense flying. They play with inspiration. They play with passion. They play with a sense of urgency. Those same things I want to see on the offensive side of the ball. Play with a little more urgency. And that's where KJ last year, with Browse, as much crap as I gave him and everybody else gave him, we played with a little tempo. The tempo is great when you're playing with a sense of urgency because you have to have attention to detail. Really love to see our offense step it up, play with some passion, play with some sense of urgency, play with some fire. And I think with a little more tempo, you might be able to exploit defenses getting a little tired because our wide receivers don't have that explosive nature right now. We don't have the receiver group that's going to separate in the SEC. But I think with a little quickness, I think we can exploit Florida's secondary.
Maybe.
I'm going to pivot a second to basketball. If you look at Duke's schedule, they play Michigan State pretty much right out of the gate. If Duke goes on the run, we think they're going to go in November. And Arkansas has a great showing down in the Bahamas. You could be looking at a top 5 matchup between number 1 ranked Duke and potentially a top 5 Arkansas. What do you guys think about those prospects? And how hard is it going to be able to get a ticket to that game?
Well, I agree with your first take. I think up-tempo is going to help this offense. Now, Sam Pittman's already spoken to it. If there's success, they're going to keep on doing it, and hopefully KJ has just less to think about. You don't have great wide receivers. I do think Andrew Armstrong's underrated. There's been so many times this season he's been open, and he just hasn't gotten the football because there hasn't been time to get it to it. To your point about Duke right now is AP number 2. And I think they're probably going to end up at AP number 1 at some point. Hopefully it's when they walk in. And like you said, hopefully Arkansas takes care of business early at that point. And it is a top 5 matchup. And it's going to be an impossible ticket. It's hardest ticket to get since UNLV came in here.
Let me go back to what he talked about with tempo. And I do agree this offense needs to introduce a little more tempo like they had last year. But do you think you have the offensive line and the personnel, the depth there right now to run a ton of tempo? I think that's got to be part of the consideration of how and when and how much, because I don't know that this O-line can, how much of your offense can be tempo. That the O-line gives me a lot of doubt about that.
Well, I think the up-tempo kind of not necessarily takes away, but if these guys you always have an advantage as an offense, right? It gives you more of an advantage rather than letting defense kind of get where they need to be and take time.
I think them in a mismatch and you keep them on the field. I get that. But I'm just saying you don't have a lot of depth and you don't have a lot of quality depth on this offensive line. I mean, that goes without saying. So you don't have a lot of options if you wear those guys down over the course of 60 minutes and if you're out there for 30 or whatever. You've got to be – I think you got to be strategic about your tempo. That's all I'm saying.
I'm willing for them to try anything because everything they've tried at this point has not worked
Definition
at all.
of insanity.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you.
To Hot Springs we go, home of the Trojans and the Rams, where Ryan is this morning. Ryan, welcome to the program.
Hey, Bubba, I'm actually closer to Lake Hamilton.
Who are what? Who are what? Hang on, Ryan. He wants to stump me. He's over here Googling these. The Lake Hamilton what, Ty?
I can see the mascot.
Mm-hmm. Then you ought to know it because their mascot.
Is it the Wolves?
There you go. Bingo,
Let's go.
Bingo. Yeah.
The Wolves.
Yeah.
What's up, Ryan?
Not a whole lot. I just think I was listening to y'all, and y'all were talking about the 6-game losing streak was but in all reality, though, that's kind of a silly compliment or a comment to talk about. Why would we wait so long to get Enos fired? Well, to be fair, let's look at the competition. I mean, you scored 31 points at LSU. A lot of years, that's good enough to win you a game. You played within 24 points or 21 points, or you played within 3 points of Alabama and had a legitimate opportunity at beating Alabama. Has the offense been great? No. But at the same time, I think you also got to look at the level of competition you've been playing as well. I mean, we talk about the level of competition that Arkansas plays and how unfair the schedule is. and then when we don't play that good, we get mad about it. Like, we can't have the cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
we gotta have a little understanding.
You're 2-6, bro, and you scored 3 points against Mississippi State.
Ryan, here's my pushback.
I'm not disputing any of that. But I'm just solely talking about the comment about we waited 6 games to fire Enos. What I'm saying is the Mississippi State game was worth the firing. I'm not disputing any of that. But also let's also not take credit from the man either for what he's also done this year too. Is all I'm saying. Here I had one question too, and I'll let y'all go. If he finds a way to win a couple of these games, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and if one of them is Florida, does he get any credit for the first time that's done in history for going to Florida? Does that get him any kind of grace?
Who?
Talking about Pittman, right?
Yes, sir. For going down to Florida, does that get him any kind of grace for that being the first time in history we've ever done that?
Absolutely.
I'll hang up and listen.
I'll be ecstatic and I'll be complimentary if they do that. I don't think they're necessarily going to, but yeah. So
you'll win that game. You're going to feel like you can win them all from there on.
And Ryan, let's call a spade a spade. LSU's defense sucks. I mean, it's the worst they've had in 20-plus years. Ole Miss's is good. A&M's is really good. Bama's is good. I can kind of see that. They didn't play for half against Bama. They were terrible against Ole Miss and terrible against Texas A&M. And then last week, when you finally had an opportunity to play a unit that's giving up 30 points a game, a unit that's top 90, outside the top 90 in most statistical categories, I'm referring to Mississippi State, you muster 3 points, 0 in the second half. You can't do that as an offensive coordinator in an SEC school.
Well, too often Arkansas plays to their level of competition. Clearly, their offense did not play to the same level they did against Alabama. I mean, because I think you just laid it out. Mississippi State's defense is not as good as Alabama's. We all agree. We don't need to have that discussion. Arkansas has got to get out of this habit where they seem to want to play to their level of competition continuously. All right, more calls coming up on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Brothers Roofing and Restoration wants to put a new roof on your home. They'll do it for free. All you need to do is go to hitthatline.com and register under the free roof tab in the free roof sweepstakes. Just look for it at hitthatline.com on the menu bar on your phone or on the computer. If you've had recent wind or storm damage or your insurance company has denied your roofing claim, enter to win a free roof valued at up to $15,000. That includes installation, tear-off, new materials, everything from Brothers Roofing and Restoration. Again, hitthatline.com, click on free roof. Deadline to enter is coming up on November the 10th. Get your free roof from Brothers Roofing and Restoration. Tom Murphy's going to join us in about 30 minutes or so here on the program. We'll get his thoughts. He was at the press conference yesterday as well.
All right, Bryce coming up in just a bit. We'll take his call and some more. Big Mike, if you want to call back, you can get in here. Hour 2, Tuesday edition, reaction next.
Get the best deals of the year during New Holland's Value Bonanza, going on now at WT Equipment. Put 0% financing for 72 months in your pocket, or choose a free loader add-on for your new Workmaster subcompact and compact tractors and Boomer compact tractors. These are reliable, powerful, and incredibly easy to run. Tackle your chores without breaking the bank. Work smarter and save big with incredible deals during New Holland's Value Bonanza at WT Equipment. But hurry, offer ends December 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and C&H Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Attention homeowners, it's time to put gutter worries behind you with Leaf Guard of Arkansas, the only true one-piece single covered gutter system on the market. Let's talk some facts. Guaranteed to never clog. Yeah, you got that right. Say goodbye to the endless hassle of gutter cleaning. This month, brace yourself for the incredible $99 install sale. Just $99 installation for a limited time on a complete Leaf Guard system. It's the deal of the year and you don't want to miss out. And interest-free financing until 2025. No monthly interest if paid in full within 18 months. solutions. Picture this, a world where gutters never clog, where muck and mud and shingle grit are a thing of the past. Do not risk your life cleaning out your gutters or paying somebody else to do it every year. You'll never have to climb up there again. So why wait? Protect your investment, protect your foundation, get Leaf Guard now. Ask about the $99 install sale and interest-free financing until 2025. Give them a call at 501-664-5400 or check them out at leafguardandmore.com. Invest in your home. Invest in Leaf Guard.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief, one more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Passion is something that exists in all of us.
I know we got a lot of passionate Hog fans listening right now, and I know that all of you love football season. Dave Bushkill and his team over at Eastside Liquor are the exact same way. They can take care of all your tailgating and party needs, whether it's just a few beers or alcohol in bulk. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith to check off every item on your list. Eastside Liquor, your number one stop for Arkansas football this season.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks with over 10 years of experience in the golf industry. Call him today at 646-4430 and schedule a lesson using the simulator. The best selections of clubs like Callaway Paradigm, TaylorMade Stealth 2, and Peen G430, along with the wide assortment of shoes, apparel, and golf bags. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your one-stop shop for everything golf.
Asphalt Concrete Restoration and Supply has what you're looking for when it comes to innovative concrete solutions. They have the supplies and tools to do all the concrete designs you could possibly consider. Overlays, integral color and stains, and stamp rental. And if you need help, they can help you find the right person to get your job done. Asphalt Concrete Restoration and Supply. Let them help you create the look you want. Asphalt Concrete Restoration and Supply at 5805 Highway 271 South of Fort Smith or 479-788-8888.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
Guys, that was Ricky Stromberg, and he was absolutely right. Ag Up Equipment is your John Deere dealer in Arkansas and Mississippi, and they're always #1 in the field. The #1 in resale value, the #1 in parts availability, and the #1 in service you can always trust. Come visit us at agup.com. That's AGUP.com. Ag Up Equipment. We don't sell maybe at Ag Up.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we have a chance of seeing a few showers at least early and across the north, otherwise increasing sunshine, our high upper 70s to lower 80s. A stray shower possible across the north tonight. We drop down in the low to mid 60s and partly sunny skies on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Brewer to Jones for the slam.
How about Matt Jones? Did he sky?
Weekdays from 11 to 2.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
You said we were getting close to dangerous waters. Ty, we're not even on the beach. If we're driving to Destin, we haven't even reached Mississippi yet.
I love Sam. How can you not love the dude? But he's going to have to figure this stuff out, or he's not going to have a job.
KJ missing high, missing low. It's not all on the offensive coordinator at that point. At no point in time do I want to hear anyone even intimate that we need to examine the fans of the University of Arkansas.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
It is hour number 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Tuesday. We're going to hear from Coach Pittman coming up in just a bit. Plenty of sound bites that we cut from yesterday's press conference to get into. You can find them on hitthatline.com and our YouTube channel as well. And I don't know, sometime between 11 and 2, Tommy, we're also going to hear from Arkansas starting quarterback on halftime.
Yeah, we're doing a halftime is going to be live at Armor Bank in Rogers, their new location. KJ Jefferson has an endorsement deal, an NIL deal, whatever you want to call it, with Armor Bank. He's going to be there signing autographs, taking pictures today at the new Armor Bank location in Rogers, and he's going to be on the air, I believe, in the 12 o'clock hour with Phil and Matt today. So that will be an interesting conversation. I will be tuned in for it, and KJ will speak today here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com inside halftime. I believe that will be in the 12 o'clock hour, as halftime will be live at Armor Bank. So looking forward to that. All right, we got 2 lines open on the McClarty Daniel hotline. So if you've been waiting to get in, right now is the perfect time to call 877-377-6963. We're brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate openings in the Boone, Marion, and Baxter County areas, also in Benton and Washington counties as well. You're looking for a new situation, new job. Maybe you've got construction skills, worked on job sites, worked on road building crews. They have jobs for you. They're looking for licensed CDL drivers, heavy equipment operators, concrete finishers, people that have worked with asphalt before. If you've worked in a quarry, they got jobs for you there as well. Go to jobs.crh.com. Top pay, great benefits. That includes insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Again, jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer. I wonder how that conversation will go today with Matt and Phil. What will KJ have to say? Because the question has to be asked about Dan Enos, that relationship, how he moves forward, where do we go from here? Quarterback to quarterback today with Matt and KJ. That ought to be a very enlightening conversation.
Maybe Matt can pull it out of him with the quarterback kind of, again, connection that those two have. But we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if KJ kind of kept it close to the vest, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Bryce is in Greenwood. Hey, layup, Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Bryce is in Greenwood this morning. Bryce,
home of Tyler Wilson.
Yes, Tyler Wilson, Grant Morgan, Drew Morgan, Lucas Miller, and welcome into the program, Bryce.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Tommy, I got a question for you before I get into this.
Okay.
So a couple weeks ago, you worked a football game in Scott County as the White Hat.
Mm-hmm. Waldron.
And there was this young, rambunctious ball coach that came up and talked to you before the game and quoted the Gaston's line to you.
Yes.
That would be yours truly.
All right. Well, glad you called this morning. Seems like I hear the Gaston's line most weeks somewhere I go, either from the stands or somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, we had a great time at Waldron that night.
Oh, well, I'm glad you did. Well, I was going to ask you guys, because you guys kind of touched on it a little bit yesterday morning when I was listening, but talking about kind of KJ and Rocket coming back, I was just wondering if you think there's any shot at all, whether that's dependent on a new offensive coordinator, maybe a new head coach, depending on what Hunter Yurchek and his staff up there decide to do. Do you think there's any any chance that hinges on a couple of new coaches or just one new coach? And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
Bryce, thanks for calling in this morning on the McCarty Daniel Hotline. It's in my opinion, there's no chance in any way, shape, or form Rocket Sanders comes back for another season. Running backs, as we've seen in the National Football League, only have a certain amount of tread on their tires per se. He's not back next year. You have a much better chance of getting KJ back than you do him. I don't know what the percentage is. I've said it already. I'll say it again. I think by the end of the season, KJ ultimately decides that it's his best interest to transfer at that point.
Question with Rocket is, do we see him again this year? Have we seen the last of question. Rocket as a Razorback? I agree with you on the future for Rocket. Question is, and I think you could compare the Nick Smith situation to the Rocket Sanders situation, and I don't know if we want to have that conversation now. We only have a few minutes left, but I find a lot of similarities in what we're talking about. Different sports, obviously, different entry points because Nick was coming right out of high school. But I just find that, the outside medical people working with rehab off campus, doing the things that seemingly agents or the people around you want to do. I just see the similarities in that. My question with Rocket, Bryce, is he done here now? Like we've seen him for the last time? Like, really, it was last year? Because what's he got, 100 yards? Dude's got 100 yards this year? I mean, it's just that's been as disappointing as anything else this season is not having Rocket to be a part of this offense. I think the real question is, does he even play at Florida? Coach danced around that yesterday, said, I don't know, he's in Dallas doing rehab.
He never left the fold. Rocket's getting rehab in Dallas, and he'll be back whenever he gets healthy. But I don't know when that is.
Didn't expand, again, much more on that to that point. All right, next one. Cave City.
The Caveman.
You got it.
Yeah.
I was my initial was like, there can't be the watermelons, can they? The Caveman. That's where Lane is this morning. Lane, what's up, man?
Not much. How are you, Mr. Ty, Mr. Tommy?
Good morning.
Hey, so I just got a quick question, and I'll jump off here. So we're always asking why our football team isn't nowhere near the level of our other two major sports. Well, do you think that we have sacrificed our football team to be good in those two other major sports? Because name another college where they are elite across all three major sports. Alabama maybe got the closest. Their baseball team is average, but we've seen what their basketball team sacrificed last year to be good, and we all threw them to the stake for it.
Florida has been at times. Florida's won national titles in all three sports, in recent memory. LSU's been good at times in basketball, obviously elite in baseball and football. Is there a sacrifice? I don't think it's because they're putting money in the budget, to hamper football. I don't think. Well, if football only had that extra $2 million, when I think about how you're setting things up from a departmental standpoint, I think about budget.
Those are the two best examples I would use, especially in the Southeastern Conference. That's a good question, Lane. I don't think Arkansas is sacrificing anything. I think when Frank Broyles did the right thing and elected to bring this program to the SEC, your football, again, has taken a severe step back relative to what it was in the Southwest Conference. It was the right move. It's still the right move. I know your football team hasn't had the same amount of success, but every other sport on this campus has prospered due to the Southeastern Conference. You're more traditionally rich baseball and basketball school. As much as that's hard to kind of fathom at times, that's the reality where Arkansas athletics is over the course of its life.
You've been able to recruit nationally till in-state recruiting helped catch up in baseball. So that and it's just become its own animal. Basketball, you've been able to find a core. Now, everything's changed with the portal. We can talk about recruiting and recruiting grounds, and the portal's changed it all in all sports, right? I mean, you don't just recruit your high school kids. It's the balance of what used to be JUCO and high school players. That's what you get. Well, now you go get, basically free agents at this point. So it's all changed. But the reality is, Lane, that, in Arkansas, you're just too far from enough population bases that you can be first or second in those recruiting grounds. I mean, Tulsa, you're not first or second. That's a decent enough metropolitan area of 1 million people. Dallas is your next one. There's not a metropolitan area. Now, Northwest Arkansas is projected at some point to be 1 million people and not that far away. Little Rock's not there. I mean, but you go to Dallas, and what's Dallas? Boys, like 3.5 by itself? Dallas Metro? Maybe bigger than that. So, I mean, that's the problem. You got Atlanta, you got Dallas. We're not first, second, or even third in these major metropolitan areas when it comes to getting recruits. We get people out of Dallas. We get people out of Northeast Texas. But you're not first, second, or third in the recruiting rankings even out of that area.
So let's just compare, right? You're playing the Gators next weekend. Arkansas has 21 players that are 3-star or better in the state of Arkansas. Any idea where Florida is?
Oh, it's got to be
list? I'm still scrolling. I'm still scrolling.
Okay.
I'm still scrolling.
The state of Florida?
The state of Florida. 3-star or better athletes in the class of 2024.
I would think it's closer to 100 than it is 50.
It's 247.
Okay, so, well, I was right.
Guys, think about that. In the state of Arkansas, there are 21 players in the state that are 3-star or better high school football players. Now, there will be some that maybe
but Ty, all the schools down there that have to divide that talent.
247 compared to 21. I will keep banging this hammer over and over again when it comes to this football program. You have to get better in high school football in this state in order to have success.
That's a population
in the
thing,
Southeastern
dude.
Conference. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Mississippi. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Mississippi has less people in the state than you do, and they still kick your tail in recruiting in terms of players every single year.
It's the type of player. It's the type. It's not. You think it's because they lift weights and we don't? Why is this, Ty?
There is more of a predominant focus on high school basketball in this state relative to where it is in other SEC footprints.
It's also the body types you have. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it goes beyond that. This isn't just about their football. Their schools care more about football down there.
They do.
There's more to it than that. It's also the type of athlete within each state you're producing. Bielema talked about this when he was here, and he was right about the type of bodies you had to recruit in the upper Midwest and the places in Wisconsin because you had the more Scandinavian genetic link. I mean, but he's right. I mean, it's about body types as well. So it's not just about, hey, they care more about football. That's not necessarily it. Are there issues within this state that need to be resolved? Yes, you're right, but that by itself isn't going to fix it.
Well, you're vastly behind in that area. Mississippi, I just looked it up, 72 players compared to 21. Has a population less than you do. It's not probably going to help or change anytime soon unless that improves. And this is, again, the class of 2024 in-state's better than the class of 2023. You're still light years behind when it comes to high school football.
Yeah. Hey, we're brought to you by World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. 877-305-3474 is their number. Sign up right now. Lock in your price for 3 long years. Everything else is going up. Inflation's killed all of us. Well, with DISH, you don't have to worry about that for 36 months. They're going to lock in your price and guarantee no increases. Does that mean I'm committed for 3 years? No. It's a 2-year commitment, but you get the free equipment, free installation. You get movie channels free for the first 90 days, and the multi-channel sports pack is thrown in as well. 877-305-DISH for the local DISH dealer at World of Wireless.
All right, when we return, we'll get into our Morning Rush daily question. Also welcome in Bruce Stan to Pradco Fishing next.
Hey, this is Cam Little, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Kobe Hamilton! Can you believe it?
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com.
Discover style that stands out with the 23 Buick Encore GX at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get special offers and financing as low as 1.9% on the 23 Buick Encore GX. Save $1,250 in special discount if you own a 09 or newer non-GM vehicle. Plus, get 1.9% financing. The 23 Buick Encore features crisp body line, streamlined stance, and dynamic styling. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Would you like to cut your utility bills without cutting comfort? Stay cool and save while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system. Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs since 1968. J&B Supply with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Hey, it's James Teague. Over the years playing baseball, I've grown accustomed to closing innings, but now I'm closing cases. With almost 30 years in the business, the Teague Law Firm can help you with all family law matters, including divorce, custody, and child support. We can also help with criminal law such as traffic offenses, DWIs, and more. Call me at the Teague Law Firm at 479-877-1688. That's 479-877-1688. Visit us online at teague-law.com.
Teague Law Firm. If they can't help you, they'll talk football.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
There's a new flavor coming out of the Hardee's Craft Kitchen, Nashville Hot Chicken. Juicy 100% white meat chicken dipped in buttermilk, hand-breaded and seasoned to bring the heat. Try the crispy, spicy goodness in chicken tenders on a famous Hardee's made-from-scratch biscuit or a sandwich. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Hardee's new Nashville Hot hand-breaded chicken is goodness in the making. For a limited time at participating restaurants. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Derek, I thought, asked a good question on Hog Reaction Saturday, and I'm going to, again, repurpose it for our show. Are you now going to reinvest next weekend with someone new running the offense? Maybe you're somehow, some way avoiding the news that Dan Enos has been let go by the University of Arkansas. I don't know how you've avoided it to this point. I think 99% of our audience knows that he is no longer the offensive coordinator. Kenny Guyton calling plays, taking over the quarterbacks, and then Derek Keefe, who was within quality control, is now taking over the wide receivers, played that position at Alabama. So again, our Morning Rush Daily Questions, we welcome in Bruce Stan to Pradco Fishing. Are you going to reinvest your heart, your soul, your mind, your energy into next weekend now that you know you don't have to watch a Dan Enos offense to this point? Bruce, I'll start with you. I know you're invested this weekend in what happened in Tuscaloosa, but do you think Arkansas fans will, again, take themselves to next week with the same vigor they usually do with football games?
I mean, yeah, you have to as a fan. I mean, we're the ones who are going to be there in 10, 20, 30 years. It's kind of like whether it's church or work or school, you know, the people that are there are the ones that are sticking with it. The leadership, the CEO, the pastor, the coach, those folks are always changing. But, you know, the congregation, so to speak, you know, whether it's Razorbacks or whatever school it is, you're the ones that are the faithful, and you stick with it. And that's what's going to happen. You know, you might go 2-10, you might go 6-6, you might be somewhere in between. But the people that care, the people that are passionate, you know, they're going to stick with it, and they're going to find a way to continue to be faithful. And that's what you do as a fan, you know, unless you're a Fairweather fan, unless you're a 1985 Bears fan, you know, and I don't know where they are now. It's kind of like where all these Chiefs fans were 10 years ago, and where are they going to be 10 years from now?
I'll get him started. Get him started this morning. Tyler says he's happier, but he's not going to watch. So that's an interesting way to look at this. Tommy, what do you think?
Do you beat Purdue Saturday? Because I think that has a bearing on this.
Does that matter?
Man. I think
with people's interest in football, I do.
It doesn't count.
Doesn't matter.
Whoa, hold up.
Hang on.
It counts if they win.
Yeah.
It doesn't count
Practice
if
you lose. Now, I think the excitement level for basketball obviously goes up if you beat a top 5 team, you know, in front of the state. It's not in front of the country or the nation at this point. It's not in front of the basketball world. But I think that would have some bearing. But I'm not the right person to ask, because watching football games, and I tried for 20 years to convince Laura this, it's my job. So I will watch the Arkansas-Florida game regardless of who's calling the play. So I'm not the right person to ask. I think most of the fan base will, because, all right, they've changed cooks down here. I'm going to try that restaurant one more time. Service has always been good. Foods have been a little bit off lately. They got a new chef. We'll go try it again. So I think people will be invested. People will watch. It's at 11 a.m. It's not Modern Gun season on November 4th. And if they can win that game, you'll have a good crowd for the Auburn game. If they look the same, it's going to be pretty dismal for the Auburn game on the 11th. So I think this is a huge game from the standpoint of what the Auburn attendance will look like the following week. And, yeah, I think people will make an appointment to watch this game, because they want to see what changes have been made in the 10 or so days they had to get it done.
Arkansas basketball team's going to be pretty exciting, I think, this year. And the matchups, the marquee games that you're featured in, just kind of add to that, again, starting this Saturday. But, again, our Morning Rush Daily Question presented by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. Will you invest in next weekend with someone running the new offense? Again, Kenny Guyton taking over calling plays in the quarterbacks. Derek Keefe moving to the wide receivers, Tommy.
Yeah. All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge is in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
All right, so plenty of SEC news to react to this weekend. What did you think of the slate, including Missouri once again looking pretty solid? That might be the second best team in the SEC East.
You know, we were talking about him maybe not being employed in the preseason. We talked a lot of things preseason, which kind of sounds stupid now. But, yeah, Drinkwitz Coach of the Year. Has to be.
No question. Yep.
Has to be. And, you know, Luther Burden III, you know, that guy can catch a football.
He's a dude.
They can throw it to him. They're very balanced. They are probably, I'd say Drinkwitz, the only thing he's made a mistake on this year is he took away tempo at the end of the LSU game and tried to get a little cute with the clock, and that probably cost him that game. Outside of that, he's been perfect this year.
Do they get Georgia? I think that's week 10. They got a shot against a Brock Bauerless Georgia team, and they go to Athens that game.
They did last year. I mean,
they were up in the fourth quarter.
They were. I think they do.
And they're coming off a bye this week. So Missouri's off. Georgia plays Florida, obviously. Arkansas plays Florida the following week. Those are interesting games on the back end of the cocktail party.
You know, and here's the thing. A lot of people were thinking Drinkwitz was going to get fired at the end of the year. Is he going to play himself and do an even bigger job now?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and if things don't go well at Arkansas, everybody knows his roots. I've already heard, I think people prematurely bring that name up, but would that be a name that Arkansas would target? Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a premature conversation, but, you know, his roots are in Crawford County.
It's a lesser job.
I don't think it's a lesser job.
I don't
not
think
nationally.
That's not right.
East is easier. He's got the high school. He's got St. Louis. He's got Kansas City.
Just because Missouri's beating Arkansas a few times, that doesn't mean it's better.
Arkansas's program is better than Missouri's.
From a coaching standpoint, as you always like to say, Tommy, take your Razorback sunglasses off for a sec. There is not a coach out there that would look at both jobs and say the Arkansas job is a better situation for me. You have had success in Columbia since you joined the SEC. Last 10 years, Arkansas has not had a bit of success for the most part.
Do you really want to coach at a school that has rocks in the end zone?
Listen.
Seriously.
I know what I like
rocks.
being an Arkansas guy, but I'm just telling you what coaches out there would say on this.
Does somebody paint those rocks? How does that work? And who puts them there? Is that a job in Missouri?
Lots of questions. I don't have all those answers.
I mean, if you have rocks in your end zone, you're not a Power 5 school.
Right, because you don't have seats in your end zone.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they keep kicking our tail, and we've never won at Ferret Field. We can make jokes all we want. We can whatever. We can make jokes all we want. It's Missouri. I don't think they're an SEC school, but they've got a better record, and you beat them twice since you've joined the SEC, and you've never won in Columbia, Missouri. It's What's Your Beef Wednesday tomorrow, but this idea that Eli Drinkowitz would even remotely consider coming to Fayetteville if you offer that opportunity, if something ever happened here with Pittman, it's an egregious take. It will never happen, ever. It shouldn't even be contemplated.
I just want to be clear. You don't actually believe Missouri's program is a better program.
Coaches look at that job right now in 2023, and the answer is yes.
I think the record's better, I would say, program-wise. I mean, when you talk about program, you talk about fan support, facilities,
university support.
No, that's not a better program.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't even think it's really a close conversation. So
we have to, again, what we thought about a program in 1980 or 90 or 60 or 70, it doesn't matter now in 2023. It doesn't. It does not remotely matter. Arkansas in today's day and age is not a great job to a lot of different coaches out there. It's not our perception. The only thing we should care about is what coaches think about this program and players. And right now, Arkansas doesn't have a lot going for them right now.
You better include boosters in that because that's how you fund your NIL, and that's what coaches care about more than all those other things you just listed. Question one is not how much are you going to pay me. What's the terms of my buyout? Question one when interviewing the AD is how much money do I have available in my NIL to go to the portal and to go get kids? And that's you won't fix the program, you won't fix problems. Go get you a consistent $12, $15 million that you got for your football program, and that's how you become competitive quickly.
There's 100% what you just said is true. Do you think Arkansas is going to have an easier or tougher time with boosters after this season to convince them to put NIL money in the fund?
Well, I mean, sometimes when you identify, hey, we have a real problem and a real need, that's when people step up the most. I don't know the answer to that because I don't have millions of dollars to pour into that. But
I wish we did.
Somewhere you got to find that because that's the secret sauce to being a competitive program today. It's not stadium size. It's still about recruiting bases near your campus within 350 miles because that still matters because not everybody's coming out of the portal. But your NIL funding matters. It's either one or two on the list of things that are important to building your program today.
And who do you think is in a better situation when it comes to NIL? Is it the state of Missouri, which has better laws where you can pay kids out of high school if they commit to an in-state school, or is it Arkansas right now that does not have that? Who's in a better situation? It's Missouri.
Well, but the kids that you really need to have the money for are the ones coming out of the portal right now.
Yeah, you're right on that.
I think it's a combination, but then you also got a kid like Ryan Wingo, 5-star, and some of the other guys in St. Louis and KC that are outstanding players that are electing to go to Missouri.
Yeah. And we just talked about Luther Burden a second ago. Yeah. When's the last time Arkansas had a Luther Burden receiver from in-state?
Yeah, Burks would be the last one of that. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing the demise. If you got some thoughts on this, you can jump in on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We will get to those. But for now, let's get into our Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who are the best football teams in the SEC?
SEC!
Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
All right, Tommy, what you got for the top six?
Got too many buys that have been going on. We're going to get through that. And the problem with the buys is it leads to the lack of movement. We get stagnant a little bit in the top six. We're going to get through that in the next week or two, but we got more buys in the top six again this week.
Tennessee took care of the stagnancy for you.
Yeah, Tennessee, but there wasn't a lot of movement because we had too many teams that were on buys, including Georgia, who was on a bye last Saturday. They get Florida this week, but Georgia's still at the top. They're 7-0. They're 4-0 in league play. They're number 1 in the country. They're a 14.5-point favorite on the Bet Saracen app against the Florida Gators. That game's at 2:30 on Saturday. Georgia at the top of the Pradco Pyramid of Power. Alabama stays at number 2. They had a win over Tennessee this weekend. I'll say that softly, Bruce, 34-20. But they're on a bye this week before they play LSU, 7-1, 5-0 in the league, number 9 in the country. Ole Miss beat Auburn 28-21, more competitive than I thought it would be. Ole Miss still covered. They're kind of on a bye again this week. They play Vandy at 6:30 on Saturday night. Look for Ole Miss to be 7-1, 4-0 in the league. Ole Miss a 25.5-point favorite. I don't know if they cover that necessarily, but Ole Miss number 3 in the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
I agree with your top 3. It's been that way for several weeks. The thing about the Bama game, Wyan and I were watching in Little Rock before we went to the Hendricks game at War Memorial to watch Slate play, and we won 50-49 over Rhodes College, by the way. But Bama, it was 20-7 when we left the TV, and I didn't get to see it anymore, so it's probably my fault we lost.
Yeah, I was checking in and out on that game, and I was stunned in the first half and then stunned to see the final.
I was stunned we went for it, on the goal line with 9 seconds left and no timeouts, and when Heupel did that and we made it, I was like, we might win this game.
That was one of the best catches I've seen all year. Squirrel wide in the back of the end zone. That was unbelievable play.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. I mean, it was second half. Bama showed up, so there you go.
All right, Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss, 1, 2, 3 in SEC order. Then you've got I've moved Missouri over to number 4 this week. Moved them ahead of LSU, dropped Tennessee down after the loss to Bama, and I got the Missouri Tigers, 16th in the country, who beat South Carolina 34-12. That's nothing totally impressive, but the body of work for Missouri, I think, is there. They're on a bye week. Next week, they get the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens, but a chance to prove maybe they belong a tier or 2 up.
I got the same teams. I still, when I saw LSU play Missouri in Como, LSU beat them. So I still got LSU number 4, Missouri's number 5, and Tennessee's number 6. I mean, they played head-to-head, and LSU beat them at home.
Right.
So you have to give them the upper hand.
Yeah,
and LSU's played a tougher schedule.
But LSU only beat Army 62-0.
They covered. I think it was 58.
Twice.
The boosters will score the touchdown.
And that in head-to-head, that's right. I just think Missouri's got the momentum moving forward, and LSU still got Bama ahead of them. And I'm getting a little bit looking out over the top of my skis on what's to come here. And that's why I moved Missouri up this week.
Like, if you had a top 5 of teams that were most likely to cover on a late score, LSU has to be in the top 5, you would think.
But let me ask you this. If Missouri and LSU played again last Saturday or this Saturday, think Missouri might win that game this time?
No.
I think LSU's just got better athletes. Missouri couldn't stop them. I think when they had the ball and they had a chance to win, they changed. And I think that's probably the only bad 2 minutes of coaching he's had the whole year.
Yeah. So Missouri at 4, LSU at 5, then I put Tennessee at 6 after their loss to Bama. Impressive first half. Forced Bama to come back from the largest halftime deficit at home, I think, since 98. This week won't be easy either, going to Kentucky. 6 o'clock Saturday night, Tennessee favored on the Bet Saracen app by 3.5. Tennessee have a hangover, or they beat Kentucky this week?
Well, there's a few things Tennessee football typically does. Beating Kentucky's one of them. And I don't know. I tend to think Tennessee's more balanced than Kentucky, and we'll still win that game.
I love watching that basketball series. That's a great basketball series. I guess I need to invest in the football as well, because Arkansas's not playing this weekend.
It used to be the beer barrel. I don't think that's correct anymore. So I don't know
not PC.
I don't know what we play for now, but it used to be for that old orange and blue beer barrel.
Honorable mentions in the Pradco Pyramid of Power in this order. A&M, who was on the bye last week. They play South Carolina this week. Florida gets Georgia this week. They are next on the list. Kentucky, then Mississippi State, Arkansas, Auburn, Vandy, South Carolina. Arkansas, along with Alabama, LSU, and Missouri, all on byes this week in the SEC. And that is your Pradco Pyramid of Power. Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, Mizzou, LSU, Tennessee.
What numbers do you have, Arkansas?
Let's see. I had them behind State, obviously. See,
I had them 13th,
6,
right above
7,
Vanderbilt.
8, 9, 10, 11.
I got them 13th. They're 0-5 in the SEC.
Who do you have them above?
Who do I have them above? Auburn, who's 0-4. Vandy, who's 0-4. South Carolina, who's 1-4 in the league. They're all the same, guys. We'll find out. Arkansas is going to play Auburn in a couple weeks. We'll find out.
If we lose to Auburn, man, I with that offense, I mean, that's.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and have an argument over who's 12th or 13th in the league. I'll just secede. You can have that one. So, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. None of those records near the bottom are any good.
But here's the reality on all this: we're next to Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
that's the reality this morning on October the 24th in year 4. We're next to Vanderbilt.
That's good on ACT scores. That's bad on football record.
Yeah. I mean, this is not an ACT prep course that we're doing from 6 to 9.
You've lost 2 games you absolutely should have won at this point. And if you could have stolen one of the others, obviously it's a much different deal. I mean, it's bad. It is bad at 0-5 and 2-6, but I don't think just looking at 2-6 doesn't really tell the whole story.
I just want to know what it was like to do sports radio when this team was winning 10 games a year, or when they went to the SEC championship.
Well, it was fun. I mean, we've had brief periods of that. 06, I was doing this show. 10 and 11, doing this show. I mean, it changed. But here's the problem with it: everybody agrees on, hey, we're just good.
That's fine with me. I would much rather do an agreeable show where no one was arguing and bickering about a team that was
I'd rather have that.
9 or 10 wins than sitting here contemplating the idea that this team is closer to Vanderbilt than any of your SEC West competitors.
But we're not at apathy. I mean, people care. I mean, clearly the volume of callers we took yesterday and again today when we've had the phones open prove that people have not turned it in at all.
You had 70+ thousand at the Citadel game. There was 35,000. That was inflated.
Yeah. Hey, cold front moving through next week. Had some warmer weather, a little rain in western Arkansas yesterday. What's going to work today?
All right, I'm going to change it up a little bit. We got some big sales coming up on 2 of our websites. One is our catfish company, Whisker Seeker Tackle. Go to whiskerseeker.com. You're going to have 50% off catfish rods starting in November. And then lurenet.com, you're going to have a lot of Christmas and Black Friday specials coming up. Things you can only get on lurenet.com, special color lures, special color rebels, bombers, special configurations of Bobby Garland baits, Yum baits, Booyah baits. So if you're looking for something to get that fisherman, go to whiskerseeker.com or lurenet.com. And if you don't want to go to the website, man, you should be out fishing today. It's warm, it's cloudy, it's a little windy. And I'd be throwing a Yum dinger on Main Lake points and catching largemouth bass.
Let's talk about Gaston's real quick, because I always remind people about Gaston's. When's the time to start working that Smithwick original suspending Rattling Road on the White River?
November, December's pre-spawn. That's when them big browns start coming up, and they like the looks of that 4.5-inch suspending Rattling Rogue. Looks like a little rainbow trout or a shiner, and throw that rogue out there, chrome black, chrome blue, or clown color.
Bruce, good to see you. We'll see you next Tuesday.
See y'all.
Talking about Gaston's, calling first, get your Smithwick original suspending Rattling Rogue, then call Gaston's and make your reservation for a great weekend of fishing. 870-431-5202 is their number. And like you said, the fishing, weather's getting ready to cool off, but fishing's getting ready to heat up on the White River. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey, this is former Razorback Queen.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big Tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
PN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship!
championship. The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So what's the plan moving forward with this football team? With Dan Enos no longer being employed, Kenny Guyton shifts over. Here's what Coach had to say yesterday.
I had a meeting with the offensive staff and called a lot of recruits. We're going to have Kenny Guyton move to quarterbacks, and he'll call the plays. And Derek Keefe will be the wide receiver coach. He obviously was in that system at Alabama. I've been in meetings yesterday and today with the offensive staff. We're trying to eliminate some of the volume that we have offensively. Obviously, it was important that we stayed in-house so we wouldn't have a lot of terminology and things. We got to give our kids a chance to win.
It's going to be fun next week to just see this football team, what they could potentially look like. Kenny Guyton's never called plays, y'all. This is going to be a tough one. I mean, you're going to a swamp place. Arkansas's never won. And you're expecting a guy that takes over in the bye week, an offensive coordinator, to do something. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be great next week. It's probably not. But I'm hoping it's just better than what you displayed this past Saturday. So what do we know about Kenny Guyton? Well, we know he's got his room intact. Here's what Coach said.
I know he's been really good at handling his room. That's a guy that's respected. He has a lot of motivation. He was excited when I talked to him about it. The guys in the room were excited for Kenny. You know, I thought about it a lot Saturday night, which way I was going to go, how I was going to go, and things of that nature. And bringing somebody in from outside right now didn't make a lot of sense to me, simply because, I mean, to me, that's more of giving up on the season. And this is not what we're doing. We're just trying to make a change. Hopefully we can get our kids to play a little faster and tougher and things of that nature.
I think there's a clip in that soundbite that's important. Again, they're not giving up on the season. And I know some of you have, and I get it. I'm not as emotionally invested with this football team as I was prior to the Mississippi State game. That took it out of me. Basketball really gets going on Saturday. My heart and soul's now going to be in that. But I'm still going to be there next week. I'm still going to watch. I'm still going to hope this team somehow, some way pulls it out. And hopefully they will give you some juice that gives you belief in these Final Four games starting next week at 11 o'clock against Florida.
What you're needing is hope also to build on next year. I mean, and we're not in wait till next year mode, but we're pretty close. And what you've got to have down the stretch is some things to build on so you don't get crushed in the portal. And I mean players leaving that you need to stay here to be foundation blocks for next year. Yeah, you've got some youth on that offensive line, but you don't want to start over there. You don't want those players necessarily all leaving. You've got some great defensive players you need to hold on to. There needs to be hope, internal and external, that, hey, the ship, we've recharted, we've recoursed, we're in the right direction. Record is, it's already suffered enough at this point for this year, but, hey, we're headed in the right direction for next year with different leadership.
One of the guys that's giving you hope and that is on the side of the football that's been that is Landon Jackson. Saw that Mel Kiper has him now as the #1 defensive end on his draft board right now. Landon, again, had the best game of his life against Alabama, has been the leader in sacks and I think tackles for loss for team this year. Hopefully we see him continuously to produce in that area. Just mentioned the game time. Arkansas will play Florida at 11 o'clock next week. That was announced by the SEC yesterday on ESPN2. Never beating the Gators in the swamp. You beat them when you played in 2016 in Fayetteville, but it is a tough matchup again on ESPN2 next week. A lot of your road games have been early, which you take.
Good. We'll take you like to have the home games late and the road games early.
Yep, you take on that. Last thing, Stanley Mude, former Arkansas Razorback basketball player, has signed a 2-way contract with the Detroit Pistons. I know Coach Muss and his former teammates are happy about that, and hopefully Stanley will get eventually, again, just that full contract with the Detroit Pistons, not have to worry about playing G League ball at all. That is going to do it for your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, we haven't talked baseball just yet, but you Rangers fans, you're going to love rehearing this.
Grounder to second. 2 years removed from losing 100. The Rangers have won the pennant.
And they will play in the World Series for the first time since 2011. Their first real chance to make a new World Series memory after the heartbreak of that 2011 season, and plenty of heartbreak along this path that they've been able to overcome, that they've responded to. And they're the champions of the American League, toppling the Houston Astros.
Tommy, 11-4 last night. Weird series. So you start out in a 2-0 hole if you're Houston. Then Houston goes on to win 3 straight. And then you have the Rangers win 2. So the home team lost every single game in the ALCS. Every single one. I don't know how many times that's happened in the course of MLB history. I would think maybe the first time ever. But that's what happened in this series.
And America cheered because I don't think anybody outside of Houston wanted the Stros to win. So so now I guess we'll wait on the NLCS and see where that thing goes between Arizona and Philly.
Arizona wins last night 5-1. They've tied up the series. Final game, again, in Philly at 7 o'clock on TBS tonight. It will be on in the background. I won't be heavily invested, but I will be watching a little bit. First World Series game is this Friday on Fox. Time has not been announced yet. If I had to guess, probably 7 o'clock. Our time, we'll have to wait and see. So you got the Rangers. I would think for an MLB draw, you'd rather have the Phillies, but the Diamondbacks, again, don't seem to be going away.
Nope, and you know, baseball's still trying to figure out household names. You know, you don't have your what I would call household franchises in there, but you don't have the teams you thought you'd have. You know, the Dodgers would have been one of those you thought, or Atlanta. Mm-hmm. The Braves are a big brand. Didn't get any of those to the final championship series. So we'll see. I'll be interested to see what the numbers are on this when we look back and see how interested is America right now in this.
You need Bryce Harper in the Phillies. And no, I don't know how many Diamondbacks fans we have listening to the program, but that's the lightning rod you need. Rangers, again, that's kind of an underdog story. I mean, they went the wild card route and somehow made it to the World Series, which is wild how that sometimes just happens. I think Chuck's spoken to it. The time off you have as a winner or a top seed hurts you in a lot of cases, like we've seen this year and years past. But they need Harper in this series to add some juice to the MLB. Because, again, you're going up. What are you going up against? You're going up against college football. You're going up against the NFL. I know college basketball isn't that big of a deal. NBA's coming back. But this really is a meaty time from sports. And you've got to be able to stand out somehow. He is your best bet to help that. Because if you're in Philly, you love him. You're outside of Philly, you hate that guy.
Yeah. All right, more to come here, including your calls and text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Ty, it's a great day to have lunch at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, Russellville or in Fayetteville.
Yeah, stop on by either of those locations. And again, I know that they finally were in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium this past week. Keith and his team were happy to be back there. And again, you can go, since they're not going to be back until November 11th, you can stop at either location. I actually used the seasoning last night for my chicken. You can always take that home with you at either location. You can buy it, or you can buy it at your local Harps as well. Take it home with you. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Let me tell you, they are at CJ's. We'll get to your Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog Update and Tom Murphy next.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get cleaner cuts with Denser Bales, fast and now. Save big during New Holland's Value Bonanza going on at WT Equipment. Come take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months. Or you can choose big cash back on select hay tools, including disc bind, disc mower conditioners, roll belt round balers, and hay liner small square balers. New Holland has the hay equipment you need to speed up and upgrade the quality of your hay. Work smarter and save big with incredible deals during New Holland's Value Bonanza at WT Equipment. Hurry, offer ends December 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and C&H Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
That's right. Hang on, what?
Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
And that's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy?
Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram,
sure thing,
Facebook
Dad.
thing?
I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X.
What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X.
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Hardee's 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast bake goodness into your morning. Pick any 2 handcrafted favorites for only $5. Choose a made-from-scratch biscuit stacked with sausage and egg, biscuit and gravy, or a country fried steak biscuit. With Hardee's 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast, you get double the breakfast goodness for just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 GMCs are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Get financing as low as 1.9% with approved credit and $500 in loyalty cash back on 23 GMC Terrain. If you own a 2009 or newer Buick or GMC, conquer with confidence in a 2023 GMC Terrain from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Hey hunters, it's time to get ready for black powder season at Jelco Outdoors. Muzzle loaders by CVA and Traditions. Be sure and check out the new Nitrofire rifles by Traditions. Primers, bullets, cleaning supplies, hunting boots and clothing, hunter's orange caps, vests and jackets, cover scents, deer lure attractants, ground blinds, tree stands, game processing equipment, warm clothing for cool fall mornings for men, women, and children. Good luck and stay safe from your friends at Jelco Outdoors. Remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we have a chance of seeing a few showers at least early and across the north, otherwise increasing sunshine, our high upper 70s to lower 80s. A stray shower possible across the north tonight. We drop down in the low to mid 60s and partly sunny skies on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
For Ruskin and Zach, it's just not quite fair to listen to Ty crack a beer while on the air.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
You said we were getting close to dangerous waters. Ty, we're not even on the beach. If we're driving to Destin, we haven't even reached Mississippi yet.
I love Sam. How can you not love the dude? But he's going to have to figure this stuff out, or he's not going to have a job.
KJ missing high, missing low. It's not all on the offensive coordinator at that point.
At no point in time that I want to hear anyone even intimate that we need to examine the fans of the University of Arkansas.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
For my money, sports radio is the best forum of any sports media out there. I've been listening since I was in elementary school. I just thought it was such a cool phenomenon that even as a kid, you can call in and give your opinion, as stupid as mine was at the time then, and to a certain extent is now in certain segments that we have on this daily program. We're going to have Tom Murphy join us momentarily on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Also get into your Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog update coming up. But, yeah, sports radio is kind of like a drug. Once you start, you're not going to stop, and we appreciate everyone starting with us.
Well, we can all be enablers on the McClarty Daniel hotline a little bit later, 877-377-6963. Let me take a moment to tell you about the Kruger Safari Club and our good friend Jason Carney. He's made over 75 trips to Africa and can put together the perfect trip for you and your family, you and your wife, you and your maybe now fiance that will become your bride. If you're looking for the perfect trip, somewhere that maybe you only get to once in your life, that would be South Africa. You can see Cape Town. You can see all the things that there are to do and see, like Johannesburg. There's golf courses. But really the reason people go is the Kruger National Park and the trophy hunting and the great safaris that go on there. It's ethical hunting that really they're dependent on in that part of the world to feed the villages and help feed the people there in the Kruger, the greater Kruger National Park area. And they follow all of that. You'll stay in first-class accommodations. These are great resorts, things like where you'd stay here. And these trips are more affordable than you think. You can really put together a great trip cheaper than a great vacation right here. I mean, and let Jason show you how. And it'll be memories that you'll never forget, pictures that you'll cherish forever. 479-466-4001. Jason lives and operates his business right out of Northwest Arkansas. So when you call, he'll set a time for you to have a cup of coffee, sit down, look at some videos, pictures, and really understand what you're getting into, what the process is, and make sure this is exactly what you want to do. 479-466-4001. Go to KrugerSafariClub.com. That's KRUGER, KrugerSafariClub.com. And again, Jason's number one more time, 479-466-4001.
This is the Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog Update.
Intercepted! Drew Sanders is everywhere!
Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay & Associates can handle all your real estate needs. Go to Lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. At Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Caught and getting into the end zone. Hunter Henry for the touchdown.
Chris, I saw Dre Greenlaw making plays all over the field last night. I know he's going to be a big part of our Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog Update.
He certainly is, and we'll get to that in just a moment. First, I want to start with the Detroit Lions. You know, it was a rough week for me in the Pick'em Challenge. This was one of the games that I just did not see going like this. Frank Ragnow, the Detroit Lions, suffered a blowout loss on Sunday, 38-6 to the Ravens. The Lions, who are a pretty good rushing team, were held to just 84 yards on the ground. Did the Lions get exposed, or was this just a bad game?
Ravens had a really good outing. I mean, Lamar Jackson was slinging it all over the field on Sunday, and Detroit's offense couldn't get anything clicking. And hopefully for Lions fans, it was just a bad outing. They still have pretty much control of the NFC North.
All right, Mr. Greenlaw returned to the field last night against the Vikings. They lost 22-17, but man, he had a great day. 8 solo tackles, which led the team. Now, on the Niners side, are they just going through a bad stretch of games, or is this something more?
They don't have Deebo Samuel, who's one of the most versatile players in all the National Football League. Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions last night, did not help out his defense, and the defense didn't get any sacks. While Gray had a great game, their defense overall let primetime Kirk Cousins beat them, which never happens. So, well, Dre had
his record
game.
Like terrible.
It's
in
horrible,
prime time?
Tommy. It's horrible. Thank God he threw it to Jordan Addison a couple times. A member of the proud Thunder Ducks fantasy football team. But yeah, they outside of Drake Greenlaw, not a lot of happy things that San Fran can take solace in this morning.
Yeah, it sounds like if you stop their run game, they're kind of hard to beat. Easier to beat if you make Brock Purdy beat you. All right,
hang on. What do we think of the 49? I know this is the Pro Hogs update. It ties into Greenlaw. What do we think of the 49ers now after a couple losses when we thought they were the class of the NFC?
You're thrilled if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan or a Philadelphia Eagles fan. You're ecstatic. You're pumped. I mean, Niners don't look like the same team that they initially did in the first.
Or do you feel worse that hey, now they've lost 2 games and they beat us? Ooh,
yeah, that's crossed my mind too. But I mean, it sounds like when they're healthy, they're obviously clicking most of the time. But yeah, when all their pieces aren't together, they look vulnerable.
5-2 record for the Niners, Detroit, and Philly at 6-1 ahead of Dallas, who's 4-2. So that's kind of the standings right now. Right now, the Eagles are the one to beat.
That's the NFL for you, and we'll get to another surprising game in a minute. The Washington Commanders offense did not show up on Sunday, but their defense did in a 14-7 loss to the Giants. Cameron Curl had only 1 solo tackle. He assisted on 2, but man, that was an ugly game. Looks like the Giants may be playing a little better.
Yeah, they Chase Thomas, I think is his name. The kid from Ohio State, defensive end, was so mad after that game. He should have been. I mean, you lose to the Giants this year, you're just it makes you want to pull your hair out in that situation.
All right, Treylon Burks and the Titans did not play this week, which might be a good thing for him because he's still trying to recover over that knee injury. They'll play on Sunday against the Falcons.
Yep. He's, I think, going to be back this week. I know Titans fans are ready to see him back. Again, we said it last week, say it again. The story of Treylon's career is not going to be about his on-the-field performance. When he's on the field, he's going to be a stud, but it's just the injuries that he's dealt with his entire life, and hopefully they leave him, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. Drake Greenlaw's gone through some similar things. Both those guys can play in the National Football League. Unfortunately, their health is a detriment to them at times. One of the most surprising games of the day, Hunter Henry and Dietrich Wise contributed in their win against the Bills 29-25, a huge upset. The Bills looks like they're scuffling. This is a hard team to figure out. Yeah, they're reeling a little bit. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, people always make a lot out of that, and they have not been, again, the same team that they've been. Like, they beat Miami, they drilled them one night, and then you lose to maybe the worst team or one of the worst teams in the National Football League. I don't care who's coaching that team. Patriots are awful. There's no excuse for losing to them, divisional game or not. Bills fans are rightly angry after this weekend. There's something weird going on in Buffalo. It seems like they've fallen off. Hunter had 2 catches, by the way, 27 yards. Dietrich had only 1 solo tackle. All right, Yoda Froholt and the Arizona Cardinals fell to 1-6 on Sunday, mustering only 10 points in their 20-10 loss to the Seahawks. That's just a bad offense. Dobbs has had some okay outputs this season, but it's for the most part just a bad offense.
All right, that's your Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog update. Lindsay and Associates are celebrating their 50th year in the real estate business. They're the leading real estate company in Northwest Arkansas. Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay and Associates can handle all of your real estate needs. They have over 200 professionally trained agents, 3 convenient locations. They're in Fayetteville, they're in Rogers, and they're in Bentonville as well. Lindsay and Associates is the winning choice for your real estate needs. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory at Lindsay and Associates. we bring great neighbors together.
Before we take Tom Murphy's call, let's take our friend JW in London's call, who's phoned in on the McClarty Daniel hotline. JW, welcome in, man.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. This weekend was one of those weekends. After the game, I was sitting out with a neighbor who's a diehard Hog fan, too. We were burning some brush, and we were watching it burn. And I said, the only thing I want to make for sure, if they're going to keep me in the fold, is I want to see that Mr. Browse gets fired before Monday. And that came to pass.
You mean Enos?
Now,
Dan Enos?
I mean Dan Enos, I'm sorry. Anyhow, all these people who are criticizing our coach for his press conference and his I don't know and that kind of stuff, I think you have to take a step back. He's done a great job, as far as I can tell, in recruiting his defensive staff. I think that they were never on the same page, and I hope going forward we have a different kind of thing about how the offense is going to work. And I am reinvigorated by that. I don't know that we're going to win, I don't know how many games we're going to win in the future. But I just want to see us win those close games. I want us to be able to get the ball inside the 20 and score. And I guess in 2 weeks, we'll find out. That gives us some time to work out some kinks. But for all those people who are being real critical, and everybody's talking about Sam like he's going to retire. He's only 61 years old. He could have several good years in front of him, and I am not looking forward to another coaching search, knowing who you're going to have to compete with in the Southeast Conference. I just think people need to kind of, give the man a chance, see if he can right the ship, and I, for one, believe he can, and I guess we're going to find out, but, I don't call in to y'all often in the morning, but I listen every morning because I'm an early morning guy for sure. But anyway, thanks for doing what y'all do, and thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, JW. And we see your text often. I think that's exactly what's happening. They're giving him a chance to right the ship. He's made a staff change. I mean, let's not get too caught up in what's on message boards and social media and calls on radio shows. I mean, that's not the decision makers.
Here's my...
So I believe exactly what you're saying, JW, is exactly what's happening right now.
Here's my feeling. If you win 2 of the remaining 4 games, he's absolutely safe for next year. If you just beat FIU, you're teetering. If he loses out, you're asking for it. Win 2, you're fine. Win 1, don't win any, you're asking for it. You agree with that?
Win 4 and you save the portal probably. Win 4, you don't have a huge problem getting players in or losing players going out.
Yeah. Let's welcome in our guy, Tom Murphy, back on the McClarty Daniel hotline, Whole Hog Sports, and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, once again, you asked Sam some good questions yesterday. I want to start with one of the things he said about them rolling the pocket. He said they practiced it, but then they didn't implement it in the games. Did you read the kind of the same thing I did, that there was definitely some frustration that didn't seem like Enos and Pittman connected on some of the stuff they were trying to implement during the course of the week?
Yeah, good morning, guys. With Sam, he says some things, and then you have to kind of read between the lines on other stuff. And, yes, you could tell that there was a sense of frustration that what they worked on, maybe Enos didn't trust in the game. Maybe he didn't trust whatever, past the protection they had, or didn't trust the edge. You just don't know. But if you take this from, the big picture view, Sam felt he had too much package, and I think that it weighed on KJ's mind that you're not just seeing stuff and going with it. You're having to think it through, and people always play slower, and so you start maybe questioning the trust factor on what Enos was calling and what he believed in. And so, they practice it, and then they get into the games, and they didn't run it. And so if you're Mississippi State, you're just running your stunts. I mean, Lewis Riddick pointed out on the broadcast, they were running a lot of four-man rushes. Now, they did bring the safeties and corners some too, but Nathaniel Watson, they just run a twist, and the lineman wouldn't pass it off correctly, and he got sacks out of it. So, and then the whole thing of, like, if something's working, let's stay with that. And so there was clearly a disconnect. I think bottom line, I think Dan Enos' stubbornness and just doing what he thought was going to work wound up costing him, because even when it was 7-3, you felt like, well, one touchdown, they can win this game, but you didn't feel like they're going to go down and do that. And if that's what the way fans felt, imagine what players felt. I mean, they say, yeah, we knew we were going to go down and drive and score, but man, they had a bunch of drives after Mississippi State took the lead. They had 9, and they didn't get it done.
Tom, what do you think about Pittman's comments where he said before the game against Mississippi State, they were like home, bum, 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 bum. He just didn't feel any life, and he also went on to say that he felt like the defense has played with life all year long under Williams. Do you feel like these offensive players ever fully connected with Dan Enos and fought for him this year?
Maybe they didn't. Maybe there was a generation gap or a communication gap or just something. Certainly there was an enthusiasm lapse. And as fired up as you see the defenders, and Travis Williams and his staff have earned their keep. And probably at some point, they're gonna get raises and move on, and you know what I mean, like move up in the industry. And it just feels like Dan Enos might have reached the analyst type situation because of the lack of being able to get guys in really passion, and so Sam Pittman did admit, though, that's part of his deal. He's got to get the offense playing with passion too. So I don't doubt that the Florida game, we're going to see a spark to the team and all. Now, whether that will translate to points and staying on the field, moving the ball, remains to be seen. But like Kenny Guyton, and I hope he can connect in terms of the overall picture and give the Razorbacks a chance to be in games from here on.
Tom Murphy with us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Going back to Saturday after the game, yesterday in the press conference, what's your thoughts on Sam's level of honesty? He's been open about some of the mistakes he's made, some of the in-game decisions. What's your take on how much of an open book he's been here as of late?
Yeah, sometimes probably too much of an open book. Basically, the lack of getting that 51-yard field goal was his indecision. And I don't know if the wind was a factor, but you've got a guy who's made 10 field goals in a row or whatever, a bunch of them 50-yarders. Let him go out there and slam it through and come within a point. If you're within a point, A, you've scored in the second half, and B, another field goal can win the game, and it's a lot easier to drive into field goal range than it is to go down and score a touchdown. And they just blew it. We don't know if Cam Little would have made the field goal, but the chances were better that he makes it than he misses. And even if he doesn't make it, if you're worried about field position, your defense has been delivering basically all day long. The only drive they scored on, they got 30 free yards, and I still question the Jaden Johnson tripping call. But anyway, and they held Mississippi State the rest of the game. I mean, they didn't really get close to scoring position until Arkansas failed fourth down, and then they missed a field goal.
Yeah. Do we see a different KJ Jefferson beginning November 4th at Florida?
Well, I hope so. I do think this gives him a mental, refresh. And, I am assuming that he'll, connect with Kenny Guyton. They'll talk about the plays that he does best. They'll reduce the package and give him fewer things that he has to think about. Here's the thing. The Kendall Briles offense was quite explosive, and they can run the ball very well, and he just seemed like a better runner even. His passing percentage numbers had held up until the last couple of games, and they've dropped some. So I do believe we'll see an energized. I mean, he's got 2 weeks to recover and, plug into what Kenny Guyton is going to do, and he'll probably have a good bit of say. And here's what I'd like, and I think it might give them a better chance to be a productive offense.
Tom Murphy with us here on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, we got about 30 seconds or so. You think Guyton plays his way into consideration for the OC job in 2024?
Well, I'd like to think that he would. Clearly this is going to be a strange offseason at Arkansas. I heard you talking about number of wins left, and what it would mean for Sam Pittman. But he laid it out there. We didn't straight up ask him, hey, are you playing for your job? He just said it. My butt's on the line, I believe was his quote. But they want to win games, and I think I would like to think that Kenny Guyton will have a hand in who's hired as offensive coordinator here in the offseason.
Tom, great stuff. We'll have a little more time on Thursday. We'll catch up with you then.
You betcha. See you.
All right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, joining us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. We're brought to you by Farm Credit. If you farm, you've got enough to worry about without worrying about how much you're going to owe the bank and what that payment's going to be. Make the move to Farm Credit and lock in a long-term fixed rate with Farm Credit. They have the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean peace of mind in changing economic times. And if rates begin to drop, you can easily adjust and refinance with no new application fee, no new appraisals, and no new title work. They just make it easy with Farm Credit. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal housing lender.
Appreciate Tom joining us this morning. We've still got 2 more segments if you want to jump in here on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. I feel like the last 2 days has been more about you than about us for this football team. Your vents, your frustrations, whatever you want to get on, you can do so again in the following 2 segments. And we will do that coming up. We'll also, again, hear more from Sam Pittman. And we'll get into our SEC update as we got the game time announcement for Florida and what we have in front of us this weekend in college football.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Them Hogs, man, hey, them Hogs can't do no wrong, fella.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's right. Hang on, what? Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. And that's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy? Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram, Facebook thing? I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X. What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is The Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks with over 10 years of experience in the golf industry. Call him today at 646-4430 and schedule a lesson using the simulator. The best selections of clubs like Callaway Paradigm, TaylorMade Stealth 2, and Peen G430, along with a wide assortment of shoes, apparel, and golf bags. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your one-stop shop for everything golf.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook where you can check out their work.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
When an Arkansas coach used to go to a high school campus, everybody paid attention. It got around real quick.
I'm not on the bandwagon to kick Sam out the door. There's only 2 people responsible for the football season. That's you, Chuck, and Coach Pittman. Yeah, we've liked him. His personality has been pretty good. But at the end of the day, I think it was a bad decision by Hunter Yurchek to hire him.
I've seen a lot of bad football in my life, and that was the worst.
I really hope he can let Guyton kind of use his own creativity, and we can hopefully see a more aggressive offense. At the end of the day, if we're going to get beat, let's get beat taking some shots, not getting it off on 3rd and 8.
It's all from Hot Take Monday yesterday. We've taken plenty of calls this morning. We'll do so in just a bit. We're going to take another call from our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources this morning. Larry, it is the end of the month. The weather's cooling down. Perfect time to stop by and see you in Fort Smith and in Springdale.
It really is, Ty. It's just a terrific time. We're coming down the last few days of Rath Auto Relief, and this has just been a terrific promotion, up to $1,500 in Rath cash to use as you choose when you're putting your deal together. You know, you might want that extra for your trade. You might want to take it right off the price. Maybe you want to just hang on to it, use it to pay your sales tax or take a vacation. But that Rath cash is making a big difference for folks. It's making it easier for them to get the car or truck they need for their family. And we're making it easy at Rath Auto Resources. We got fast, easy financing. We got the banks and lenders lined up. We're even starting to see some slightly better interest rates. It really is a really good time to come in. Find that car you've been waiting on. Let us worry about all the details. It's our job to make the price and payment fit your budget. When we do that, you can start driving your nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, 0%. What else can you say? Worried about interest rates? Come on in and get some 0% financing on a brand new 24 Mitsubishi Outlander. We've got a good selection. 5-year, 60,000-mile full coverage warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. You really can't beat it. And if you go out and shop it against the competition, you're going to find thousands of dollars in savings on the Mitsubishi. So we'd love a chance to sell you a new Mitsubishi in Springdale or a Rath Road Ready Premium Pre-Owned car. They've got a good inventory of them. Same great deals we got in Fort Smith. So it's a really good time to buy. We hope you'll come and see us. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, you heard him. Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith and in Springdale. Larry, enjoy your Tuesday, and we'll catch up with you later this week.
Hey, thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come to see us.
I guess you ask and you shall receive. Taking some more calls this morning. It's Sway and Van Buren. Sway, welcome into the Morning Rush, man.
Hey, morning, guys. Yeah, for me, I had this game against Mississippi State circled from the beginning of the season. My wife and I were at the stadium watching the game, and unfortunately for me, she's a Mississippi State fan, so it was a very awkward game, to say the least. It was painful to watch. It was probably one of the ugliest games I've ever seen offensively from the Razorbacks. My hat's off to the defense. The defense played their hearts out, and they make us look good as far as football, but the offense just looked so disconnected. They couldn't figure anything out. It was painful to watch. And, I mean, the defense did all they could. They almost won the game for us with that scoop and score that got called off for the false start, but they did their best. I would have liked to have seen maybe the bye week before this game, because I think that Alabama game took a lot out of everybody. That was such a close game, and it's kind of disappointing that they almost had that one. I think it might have took a lot out of them, but for me, the season, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of a wash at this point. It's going to be a tough holiday season when all the Mississippi State fans come into town. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That stinks that your wife's a Mississippi State fan. We've had our friend Sean from the Fitzman that has to deal with that with the Aggies. The inner SEC households are very interesting. We've talked to fans that their wife is from Ole Miss. My stepmom's from Alabama. I mean, there's various various competition within the households, Tommy.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Always fun.
Hey, Saturday will be another big day for college football, and might be the day you kind of get to sit home, kick back, and relax. Arts Barbecue will have everything you need to really enjoy the games. $1 off all burgers on Saturday, endless fries when you eat there during the games, and they got the new smoked wings that you can try, 5 different flavors, including the lemon pepper, which I think it's my favorite amongst the 5 different ones. You can try all of those out at Arts, and like we said, great deal on burgers every Saturday as well. Cold beer, plenty of TVs, great barbecue, burgers, and more every Saturday during college football at Arts. And don't forget their tailgate packs for 2, 4, or 8 people. Arts Barbecue, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines where Robert in Fort Smith is this morning. Robert, welcome into the program.
Hey, guys. I haven't talked to y'all in a while.
Yeah, it's been a
You
while.
brought up something earlier, Ty, about the Arkansas football stuff and population, but do you think maybe it's because we have went to a more dominant basketball and baseball? Because like you said, those programs are winning. Our kids with the AAUs and everything, they all want to go to our program. I mean, look at Pulaski Academy and Central down there in football. They got a kid going to Auburn for football. Why would you want to come to Arkansas if you're losing? Like I said, you want your name to be seen. If you're looking at that next level, you don't want to go to a 3-game team. You want to go to a big team, but basketball and baseball, they're doing something that they want to come here. I just see what y'all's thoughts are.
Well, I remember when Hunter Holland's mom told me one of the reasons Hunter decided to come to Fayetteville is because felt like it was the best chance to have a College World Series team. The best chance for you to go to the SEC championship game or New Year's Six Bowl is not Arkansas. That didn't play in the psyche of every kid's mind, but it is a different situation that your football program has to deal with relative to your basketball and your baseball programs. All right, we still got plenty to get to in your SEC update, including your calls and texts. But I first want to tell you about our friends at Razorback Camper Sales, where they have a huge selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, pop-ups. They offer full prep and setup at no extra cost. You can leave the lot and start camping immediately. Best parts, best service department in the state. They've been doing it for over 50 years. Come by and see them in Hot Springs always, or online at RazorbackCamperSales.com. That's RazorbackCamperSales.com.
Hot Richardson in studio like a seasoned vet this morning.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's right. Hang on, what? Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy? Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, You'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Got the announcement from the conference office yesterday. CBS doubling up next weekend, and rightfully so. Georgia hosting Missouri. Missouri can only have one loss heading into that game. And then Alabama and LSU. Nighttime at Bryant-Denny Stadium, 6:45. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. I cannot wait to watch that game.
Well, Missouri's off this week, so they will only have the one loss.
Oh, they got a bye. Okay.
Yeah, so they're on bye this week. So, depending on the Georgia-Florida game, Florida pulled the upset against Tennessee. I don't know if they got it twice in their system. I guess as a Razorback fan, you hope they get the full force of Georgia maybe. But that is going to be a key game in the SEC East when Missouri and Georgia get together in 2 weeks.
You also got A&M and Ole Miss that weekend. Auburn's playing Vanderbilt. Mississippi State's hosting Kentucky. South Carolina's hosting Jacksonville State. And then Tennessee is hosting UConn. So those are the other games next week. Next week's a really important week for the SEC. I'm not sold that Alabama's going to beat LSU next weekend. Again, before the season, now LSU's defense is horrendous, and I don't know if they can stop Jalen Miller in that rushing attack. But if Bama's defense doesn't play for just a half, Dan Daniels can put up 28.5, y'all, even on that defense. He's that good.
Well, agreed, but what we've seen time and time again this year from Saban is what? Struggle in the first half, halftime adjustments, kick their tail in the second half, win the ball game. I mean, that's what, other than the Texas game, that's what we've seen. It may not be as pretty as what you've seen in the past. Everybody wants to downgrade Alabama. All they are is undefeated in the SEC so far.
Keep it. A lot of people think they're going to keep it rolling at some point. We'll see if they end up doing that.
Arkansas's probably had about, if I'm just thinking about it off the top of my head, as far as conference games, Arkansas's probably had more second half success against Alabama than probably anyone.
Oh, yeah, A&M didn't have any. Ole Miss didn't have any. Tennessee didn't have any. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah.
We can take solace in the fact that Arkansas played Bama the best in the second half of any SEC team.
I mean, but the MO for Bama is they win the second half going away.
You're right.
And that's kind of what I'd expect again.
Yep. That's your SEC update this morning.
Brought to you by Vichy Aesthetics and Wellness. Semaglutide and Teraziptide are weight loss game changers. I'm down nearly 25 pounds with Vichy's program, and they can set up a program just for you that will be personalized for you, provide that weekly accountability with their weekly check-in. And the first person you'll visit with is their doctor on staff. Design and set up the program, make sure this is right for you, then go from there. And again, those weekly check-ins, I think, are key to what Vichy does for you. 479-343-8424. It will, help with all your cardiovascular health, reduce the craving, really help you create new habits, new habit-forming ways of eating, and really how you go about your day-to-day diet, and help you get that weight off and then keep it off. 479-343-8424. Call or text that number. Virtual appointments available in Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma as well. 479-343-8424, Vici Aesthetics and Wellness.
Philip in Benville, hang on for just one sec, because before we get to you on the McCarty Daniel Hotline, I want to mention our Shamrock Roofing and Construction High School Player of the Week, Dalton Rice of Benville West. After his performance was the week, or our week 4, I guess, what are we in, week 9 of the
week 9,
high
no,
school?
It's our 4th week, but yeah, it's we started a few weeks. It started with conference play.
This week's edition is now live. Amari Tucker from Southside, Matt Contreras from Hot Springs, and Dax Goff of Boonville are your contestants this week. So if you're down in the Hot Springs area, if you're in the River Valley for Southside, or in the Boonville area. Tommy, where's Boonville? Right? It's about 30 minutes, 40.
East of Greenwood, south of Fort Smith, south of Charleston.
Those are your 3 contestants this week for your ESPN Arkansas High School Player of the Week, brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. And again, congrats to quarterback Dalton Rice of Benville West. Did Derek help get him that award?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Derek has anything to do with any of that.
Did Derek vote every single, because you can vote, once an hour?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't think Derek was doing that.
No, he wasn't voting once an hour? Okay. Let's talk to Ben.
That would involve way too much of his time.
Yeah. So. Let's go to Benville. We're talking about Dalton. That's where Philip is as well. Philip, welcome in the Morning Rush, man.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Ty, you made a comment earlier this morning about you're talking about like the high school and you were talking about the football players in the state of Arkansas. Here's some of the biggest problems, because I have a kid that happens to be in high school sports. The problem is there's a couple of things that's going on, and I'm probably going to get blasted for this, but being on the inside with a kid, one, you've got to start at the junior high and the rinky level. If you look at Greenwood High School right now, Greenwood starts those kids, and they start learning those plays, and it's been years and years and years. They started with Pee Wee, the rinky. They're learning those plays and starting that. So that's part of the reason why they're invested into the kids program. Also, the era of the multi-sport kid is going away. Now, you still have some, but the problem is that the parents have to lobby, because today's time, when they get in 9th grade and they start getting in 10th grade, a lot of these coaches want them to start focusing on a single sport, and they're going away from the multi-sport. That's the biggest problem is if you look at Patrick Mahomes, and I've heard Musselman saying, and I've heard, our baseball coach saying, they look at the multi-sport players. But the problem is travel football, travel basketball, travel baseball, and all these things it's a year-round thing. So now these coaches want them to invest year-round and to work out and to do all this stuff year-round. And so it's doing away with the multi-sport kid.
Yeah, I don't think, Philip,
That's nothing new, though.
Yeah, here's my take. I mean, Arch Manning played basketball senior year. Cooper wanted him to play. He wanted to play. I think there's a lot of kids that get burnt out. I mean, I've talked to several guys and gals, too, that they just get burnt out. When you play and you focus so much on one sport, you have at least some differences when you play other sports in high school.
And travel football, that's a thing when you're 8, 9, 10. Once you get into middle school, junior, there's no travel football per se. I mean, because you're committed to your team to play 7-on-7. You're committed in high school to do all the off-season activities high school programs have now. Your point is the competition's on campus once you get to a certain level that, hey, the basketball coach wants his guys and the football coach wants his guys, and usually the best, most successful program on campus with the strongest head coach wins out on where the players go. I think when you hear a lot of, and Philip touched on this, you hear a lot of college recruiters and a lot of college head coaches, they like kids that play multiple sports.
Yeah.
They like to see a tight end on a basketball floor and how their hands work there. So, I mean, I think that's the deal where the parents and the high school coaches focus on it because they think that's what's best for the kid. And in the end, I don't think it matters nearly as much as we think it does. And your kid's either got it or doesn't have it.
And to your point about the early stages of football in middle school and junior high, I think you're absolutely correct. Greenwood, Pulaski Academy. I mean, you think about marquee programs in the state. I don't know what Buck was doing at Bryant, but I would guess that there was probably some similarities. You probably know that better than I do with the different. I mean, when you start early in that, you learn the same things. There's continuity, there's consistency, there's playing together, and breeds good football teams.
And that is an issue, but what he's speaking of in Greenwood's part of their culture in that town. And it does start not in junior high, it starts in grade school. So every town has a different culture. Every town places importance on things that, in some places football is the most important thing. It's the identity of the town. Winning breeds that. When you have a town that's won multiple state championships and has consistent success, it's easy to get people to buy into that kind of thing. That, I'm going to have little Johnny out there on 4 nights a week for third grade football practice. Well, it's heck yeah if you're in a place that's won a bunch of titles. It's, oh, man, I got to drag Johnny to practice again if you're in a place that's, going 5-5.
Yep. And speaking of Greenwood, they go to Pulaski Academy this weekend that has like a 86 home game winning streak, something insane, and lost at home since 2010 or 11 or something like that. And then they welcome in my alma mater, Little Rock Christian, the following week. So big week in the 6A West. Is that what it is, Tyler? Is that what conference they have?
6A West.
6A West for those two schools. But yeah, Philip, it's a good point. No pushback from me on really either of those this morning.
Hey, brought to you by the Hickey and Hull Law Partners. They're growing their firm with offices now open in Mena and Central Arkansas. They've been providing services there as Kevin and Brad and their team went there to talk with clients for a long time now, but now they have a more or less a home base in those two places, in addition to Fort Smith and Northwest Arkansas. Nothing's changing, just expanding their horizons at the Hickey and Hull Law Partners. Family law, divorce, custody cases. You're going through parental alienation where your kids aren't being allowed to see you. You're not getting what the court orders say. Things are happening in that process. Kevin Hickey is an expert in these areas. They have over 7 decades of combined experience to help navigate you through the problem you have now. 479-434-2414 to set up your first appointment. 479-434-2414 or go online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Things are about to get better with the Hickey and Hull Law Partners.
As we wrap up a Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush, I'd like to end it with a Coach Pittman quote from yesterday. He know his and the rest of the staff, their butts is on the line.
It's my butt on the line, it's all of us, I don't worry so much about losing my job. I worry so much about losing the building's job. We got buyouts and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to buy out. I want to win. So I'm not saying I'm the know-all answer guy, but I damn sure need to get involved more, and that's what I'm going to do.
Coach, you got less than 2 weeks to figure it out. I hope you figure it out in the swamp, but it's a tall task. This isn't a vintage Florida team. It's not Spurrier. It's not Meyer, but this football program's never won in Gainesville. Sure would be nice to do a hog reaction next week and say for the first time ever, Arkansas comes out up top in Florida.
I need to get more involved. That's more of that honesty I wish we didn't have. It makes it sound like he's not been involved, and I don't believe that's true at all, but I think some of these things could be held against him at some point. I don't believe he's been uninvolved in what's going on. I just don't think it's worked out.
Well, I think everything's being held against him right now. When you win, we've said this, when you win, you can say whatever you want. When you lose, everything, and I mean everything, gets used against you.
It's crazy how sometimes from an outside perspective, who's not seeing all the practices and all that, like I know myself, I kind of get ideas that probably aren't accurate, like Pittman just said, I need to get more involved. Like when he says something like that, I'm just thinking in my head, it's like they're not.
What have you been doing?
They're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Like,
well, if you're
what have you been doing?
If you're mad at conjecture, if you're mad at our perceptions of what's going on, then let us in full time. But you're not going to do that. You want to eliminate it? Then let the media in full time. Now we're lucky that we still get a glimpse of it during the weeks. But if you want to completely eliminate the possibility of just educated guesses on our part based on what you say and based on what we see, let the media in full time. You won't have that. Until you do that, you're still going to have people, again, guessing to a certain extent when it comes to Arkansas football. Appreciate everyone joining us today here on a Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. for What's Your Beef Wednesday.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest